Now I have sound, right? I hope I have sound. So how's everybody doing? Bat Mom, Nightmare. Hey, there I am. Blue Crossroads, what's up? Cindy Lee. What's up, everybody? Let me get associated here. Associated here. Eyelids are getting heavy. Probably not going to last. I don't blame you. It's been a busy, busy week. I've been on a run. I barely talked to anybody. I've been go, 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 which has been good. So I got a lot done. So if anybody's here other than 3 people, which is nice. Yeah, I'm just trying to wake up myself. Finally got a nap in. I actually slept for like a half hour, which was nice. I needed it. Like I said, I've been go all week. I ate dinner and that goes, you were out for a good bit. So I needed it. Said it didn't even rock, which was nice. Yeah, we're gonna start her replay here about 12:30, a little bit before. Depends on how people roll in. Tonight it is 12 and 13. And of course, she'll be here Monday or tomorrow night for oracles. Don't forget, it's tomorrow night if you're watching. I'll remind again, since I only have 4 watching, which is fine. I know people come strolling in, I hope. If not, I'll just sit here silently. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I got that ready to go. We'll do 12 and 13. And then she's got oracles tonight, which will be nice. She's ready. She'll be at mom's. Let's see. Then her premiere on Monday. I will be streaming Wednesday at 10. So I'll be back to normal again. I'm just trying to get stuff done. I'm going to getting ready for a busy weekend. Getting ready for a busy weekend. Sis is cool. Birthday party for him tomorrow night. Awesome. We are officially back studio rehearsal. Awesome. Hey again, Ghost Dragon. Hey, hey Cindy Lee. Do you actually spell it with 2 Lees, 2 E's, 2 Lees, 2 E's? Yeah, I figured people start strolling back in. I'm glad everybody's doing good. Sounds like a good weekend. Yep, I'm going to work. I want to get some stuff done while we got good weather. Cool weather. And then I should be caught up for winter, and it'll be nice. I can actually slow down a bit and just concentrate on the inside. But I've been go. Man, the leaves are here are falling like crazy. We have this big old white oak beside our house. That thing, those leaves dry right up. They're huge too. So it's like, yes, I do. Yes, you do spell it with 2 E's. Yeah. It's well, actually, my real name was Lee Stephen Davis, but everybody called me LSD, and mom and dad didn't like it. But it was Lee Stephen Davis, not Stephen. But yeah, mom and dad didn't like it. One, I didn't want to go through life known as LSD. Hey, there's LSD. Yeah. And YouTube, it's just my initials. So they switched them around. I like Stephen Lee better, anyways. Yeah, it is a very popular brand, and people spell it different too, which is neat because I've seen all different types of spellings for Lee, which cracks me up. Yeah, I think Sunday will be my day off. If I get everything done I want to get done tomorrow, I'm taking Sunday off. I need it. I'm going to shut down on a Sunday. But yeah, it's just so weird that her having to flip flop on the weeks, but The oracles will still go on. Excuse me. I've been drinking my my liquid IV. I like it. I drink one in the morning and one at night before I go to bed. That's the job. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm kind of getting back into things again. I had to take that time off. I had to get some stuff done. I didn't want to, but it needed to be done. And then on top of that, once winter comes, I'll be working on the inside of the house, which isn't going to be much. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Taxes here are insane. Oh yeah, got quiet. Where's everybody at? I only got 3. I want to start this. I haven't done anything for a while. I'm ready to do something. Mark's not even here yet. Where are you at, Mark? Leanne. Yeah, Leanne's a popular one too. But that's still spelled not the way I would think it'd be spelled. But they spell with 2 E's. That's okay. Hey Raymond, how you doing? Thank you for showing up. Yeah, I'm a little ahead here. So I don't know if the video is good with the thing, but I'm looking at YouTube chat because StreamYard chat is behind. See, he just now showed. I don't know if I'm in sync. So if I seem like I'm coming out of the future, that's why. But I think the video's in sync. Looking at the golf show, once I hit 62, I'm excited. You see, I don't know. I love the ocean, but I don't know if I could live on it. Now, maybe a lake or something. There's something about the ocean. It doesn't scare me. I would love to sail across the seas or something, but there's just something about the water, that big body of water, that kind of makes me nervous. Especially what I've seen it do to the coastline. So I'm glad everybody's starting to come in now. Please, if you share it out and stuff, I'd appreciate it. I don't know, I used to have a pretty good crowd. I don't know, maybe I took too long of a break, but I had to get this done. I had to get that stuff done. It calls you home. Yeah, that's so cool. I know a lot of people want to live by the water. Like I said, it'd have to be by a lake for me. I don't know, something about I like being in the mountains. To me, the mountains call me. That's why I wanted to move to Alaska. I was going to move right outside of Anchorage. Had a place lined up and everything. I shouldn't have let them talk me out of it. Though I wouldn't be here right now. Well, maybe I would be. Who knows? Yeah, me. I can't swim. You know how I learned how to swim? Literally, my dad took us down to the river down here and threw us in. That's the God's honest truth. He said, "Swim and die." Not swim. No, he wasn't that mean. I'm sure there was problems. Actually, the river's not that deep in some places, but there's holes, so you have to be careful. Yeah, I'm going to start these here. I can remember 12 looked like a good one too. Let me see. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There it is. Yeah, I can't remember all who's on 12, but it's 24 minutes. Hey, there he is, Marky. Mark, you call me Ghosty. I'm going to call you Marky. I knew he'd show up. Thanks. Now, as for the Facebook thing, I'm just not a big fan of social media. Me and social media don't get along. Weird shit, weird crap was going on my Facebook. People were disappearing. Things were, it was just messed up. So I I figure I'll just cool it, post a couple days, cool it for a while, post a couple days. Because I'm not in. It was just getting weird. I literally had, and it was obvious. I don't know if it was Facebook. When we've had problems before, so back in the day. How many people remember MySpace? I had a page on there too that got me in trouble a couple times. You're welcome. It's everywhere. If you just look, it's everywhere. I love my dragon art though. Yeah, the art is so some cool stuff out there. Yeah, I did too. See, that was about when I dumped mine. Raymond was about 7 years ago. I just I said screw it, and then Gemma says, "Please come back so we can, promote and stuff like that." It took her a little bit, just like it took her a couple days to get me to stream in the first place when we did SOR. I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it. I didn't mind talking on the phone with Sean, but I didn't want to do it. She knew it, but she talked me into it. Yeah, I've not been on YouTube. I've been watching. I just haven't been really talking. I'm just hanging out. There's channels that I watch too that don't do a lot of streaming. I've kind of gone back to my informative stuff again, but yeah, I still watch streams, but just don't say anything anymore right now. There's still people out there doing interesting stuff, so I do watch. Yeah, it's just things are too crazy right now. And crazy. But yeah, Facebook, just me and Facebook about 7 years ago had our issues. And that's when I said, oh, I'm done. I even had an Instagram account once and I dumped it real fast. Twitter, I couldn't stand at the time. Yeah, I agree with you, Blue, on the other two things. I know what you're talking about. I subscribe to everyone, everything Dragon. I tried to get into King Dragon, but I don't know how. I know Dragon history to past. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of it out there. There's a lot of it. Yeah, my my brother dug this up. It's too shiny. Book on dragons. It's pretty cool. Sent it to me for a late birthday gift. Yeah, I need to get some more. All I have is this one right now and a few other small ones, but I value this guy. He's pretty cool. He's pretty bad. I was almost going to say it. I should have said it anyways. It's late night. But yeah, I love my dragons. I love my Godzilla more than my dragons, though. I hate to say it. I can't wait for the new movie. I can't wait for everything. Oh, God, it's gonna hopefully nothing will get screwed up in all this crazy strike crap, and because I'm ready to see some kaiju. Nice face on the what? Nice cover. Oh, yeah, it is really cool. Though he didn't get all the sticker off, so I'm gonna have to get it off. But it was nice. It was nice of him. They had all kinds of really neat stuff, but it's not as formative. There's just so much stuff out there. Yeah, I went to a used bookstore, and this guy had like a whole shelf that was nothing but dragon books. I was like, oh my god. I got a lot of intel requests finally, and I was just kind of livid. So I'm pretty much done. Can't stand to see things now, knowing what I know. It's very negative. I don't do negative. It's a stigma thing. Hey, I don't blame you, man. That's why I'm back and kind of off and kind of chill. It's just nuts. But I love everybody, and I'm happy to be here. What time we got? 12:15. Okay. Got 5 watching. Get a little bit more, maybe, y'all. Yeah, I totally agree. I've heard background stuff that just drives me nuts. And then it's funny because everybody goes, "Watch the YouTube drama." I knew about the drama a long time ago. And it's like everywhere you go to. It's not just this community, it's all of them. It's kind of wild. It's fun. I watched when some really serious stuff went down with Mog and all those guys. Mongolian Monster, and all those guys a while back ago when I was hanging around with Sean G. And that was some messed up stuff. That just got crazy. It was like, holy cow. I was actually there on one live stream when the guy showed up. I'm not gonna give names. It was BS. And then the thing is, those guys, Mongolian Monsters and those guys were right about this guy, and it just was horrible. So weird how they're so slow. Okay, I'm trying to figure out everything here. Sorry about the silence there. No, yeah, I'm trying to figure. Okay, I think I got everything too ready. Yeah, there we go. It's right there. Okay. I'm gonna give it a little bit, and I'm gonna get going here pretty soon. I try to let a little bit more people come in. It's still only 12:17. We're at 6 people. Yeah, yeah. I'll play it here about 12:30, if not a little bit beforehand. I can't remember this one. I don't remember who's all in this one. Oh yeah, that was weird. I flickered over there. Understand that Facebook can't be bad. It's not that bad. I just some of the crap that goes on. And before it was a little bit me. Years ago, it was a little bit me. I was posting some pretty conspiracy stuff just for the fun of it and memes, and they didn't like that. See, a lot of people think that's just something new, but now they've been screwing with people, what they have to say, for a long time now. Just becoming more noticeable now. Whew. Okay. I hope the ladies come in. I haven't seen Vixen. I don't know who else is streaming right now. If anybody else is streaming, I mean, that's cool. And it is Friday night. Hopefully, it's a beautiful fall Friday night here too. Just a little lot of crowds. It's getting really cool here. I think it's around the 50s. Yeah, it's 53 right now. It was like a nice day, and then as soon as the sun started to set, it it started dropping. They said we were going to get a nice cool weekend. So let's see. Get her posted and ready to go here. There we go. But what is everybody else up to? Anything else going on this weekend? Yeah, I get that. High school, yeah. Yeah, it is nice here. Yeah, yeah, we get you, Boo. I agree. I totally agree. Uh, Trying to figure out. Yep. Playing Domestic Goddess. Yeah, I did that the other day. I got a little bit to do tomorrow night before her stream to do in the Domestic Goddess thing. But right now, I'm playing Mr. Groundskeeper, trying to get everything done for fall. That way, all I have to do is just keep up on leaves, clean out the gardens and stuff. I want to try when we warm up again. I want to try to get the outside of the house painted. There's not much to paint, so hopefully I can get it done in like 2 days. It needs it really bad. I want to get new siding, but kind of have to put that on hold. He needs windows too, but they're good windows now. If I seal them up, it's a shame. I hate to say it. I just wish we'd gotten more out of the fire. That helping with the garage and stuff was a much better thing, but it helped. I hate to say the fire was a good thing because it was able to get us fixed a lot of the bad things that were going old bad. Hello, Jules. How you doing, hon? I am doing okay. Feeling much better. Getting back out again. I like the cool weather, so I get real active in the fall and the winter. Those are my months. I'm doing the yard sale circuit tomorrow. Oh yeah, there you go. I used to my dad loves yard sales. Here in Worthington, what they do is a recycle day. And anything that you don't want anymore, and you just take it out to the curb, people drive around. I mean, people put out nice stuff that they just don't want anymore. We have some pretty fancy neighborhoods up north of us. And my dad went to one. We drove by one, and somebody had like 2 lawnmowers out there. Turned out it wasn't me, and the work that needed to be done on either one of them was nothing. And that's what he is a mechanic. So he took them home, fixed them up, and sold them again. And this time sold them. I said, hey. I mean, he didn't ask much, like $50. I think he got $50 a piece for them. But there's a guy like the guy told that every time I break one, I just get a new one. But yeah, that's pretty cool when they do that. We drive around, yeah, and it's really cool because no hassle. You just they puts their junk that they want to get rid of out on the curb, and everybody drives. I've seen some nice dress. Somebody put out a nice roll top, didn't have room in the car, so went back to get a truck. And when we went back, it was gone. It was like so. Do a secondhand store. I always wanted to open a comic book shop, a comic book and coffee shop. There's kind of like that in I think Vegas somewhere. It's called the Comic Cave, the Comic Book Cave, or the Cave. It's pretty cool. Good to read tonight. I like that. It's good to read you. Okay. Yeah. We'll miss you all in the stream tomorrow night and possibly next week also. That's fine. I know you're a busy man. It's good to know that you're rehearsing again and getting things rocking. That's awesome. That is awesome. You need that. Which was it his reason for breaking the jaw? The dentist. Oh wow. Yeah, Jules, I felt corner of the counter. I messed up these bunch of teeth down here in my jaw. Luckily, I didn't have to do any reconstruction. I was surprised I was talking as well as I was. It hurt, but they got it all fixed, and I feel so much better. I feel like I smile again. But I was hurting before that, but it made that even worse. It was horrible. Trying to catch up here. Trying to scan it. I'm not doing a very good job. Yes, I'm not multitasking. With a keyboard player, really? See, you need a pianist or a keyboard player, piano. Try to find somebody multitasked, talented. You aren't you multi-talented? You can pretty much play a lot of instruments yourself, right, Blue? Yeah, my brother has my great grandpa Griffey's hollow body Les Gibson or Les Paul. It's old. Has one of the speaker bars in it. Oh, and it sounds so beautiful. You keep trying to talk him into giving it to me. We lost my little brother sold a mandolin that belonged to him too that was worth quite a bit of money. It was a beautiful piece too. It pissed me off. A few along with vocals. There you go. Yeah, I figured. So now everybody's like, you go see it. It's good to see and hear you back in old self again. Yeah, I got a lot going on. I'm trying so much to get the dragon was true. I was dragging a little bit, man. I was going through a lot, trying to get a lot done. I'm trying to focus things here real quick. I want to get things taken care of. I mean, I want to be able to enjoy what he has left with him, and I want to get this stuff out of the way. So that's what we do. Bless his heart. He just keeps ticking. He'll probably last longer than me. Pops is he's a mighty old man. Ain't a character when he wants to be. Hey, Edna. Edna. So good to see you. How's everything going? Yeah, I do feel better. Much better. I got a lot of things. See, that's another thing I was doing too. I was taking care of some physical things. There was some medications that I didn't like anymore. They weren't doing anything. I was done with them. So I got off a bunch of medication that I didn't need. They just weren't working anymore. I mean, there's not much they can do. So, but I feel good. I've been walking and staying busy. Feel like my old self again. That's why I don't like that medication crap. But it was helping for a while. Right now, it's mind over matter, and it seems like the mind's winning. So, and there's nothing I can do about the nonstop movements. It's going to happen. But now I'm just really truly going with the flow. Hey, Peppa H, how you doing? What's up? Yeah, I do feel. How you doing, and how's that spine doing, hon? Yeah, I do feel better. And I feel like I look a lot better. I'm growing my hair back a little bit. I'll probably shave one more time before winter, and then let this baby go for the winter. Thou shalt not trim thy beard. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to go full whirly on you guys. We love you. Yeah, but it's got to go sometimes. I'm going to thicken up. Let the white really come in. You'll have to excuse me if I'm not. Yeah, you're good. I can stay awake. You're fine, Jules. I know it's late night. I appreciate you talking, coming in. I do. Yeah, I've been thinking about it too. Am I talking to him? There you go. Indiana Jones. That's funny. Cross between them. That's kind of what they are. Yeah, I know I look better with the scarf, but I like to do it right before I shave maybe once or twice. I usually just shave it down and just leave the stubble, but usually right before winter, just like at summer. I'd like to grow my hair long during the winter. Keeps me warm. And but I'll shave. I got my hair cut. Now it won't be touched again until probably spring. And then I'll shave the beard one more time, get a good clean shave, leave the mustache, just trim it up, and then let it grow back. And I won't touch that again until probably April or May, if I'm lucky. I won't let it get too out of hand. I'm in the spot too, Dragon. Ghost Dragon. Even my husband thinks I should take the next step. I think. Let me think. Nope. You look better with the scarf. Yeah, I know. I'm glad everybody's in a good spirits. Steve. My ex did that once to piss me off. I was like, if that's what you want to do, go for it. And she didn't last long. She said it got the insurance so bad it drove from that. So I said, I win. It didn't bother me. It looks pretty rough. But that's him. That's their choice. No more suits and ties, please. Oh, I have to wear my suits and ties. I wear those on Oracle night. I try to look good on Oracle. If I'm going to at least sit there and be quiet, I at least look good. Uh, there you go. Get you a shirt. And I'm like, I have on my hair on my head. I'm starting to lose it up here. It's starting to go up here. But my mother had a lot of hair. My dad and me and Tim are like my mom when it comes. We kind of look like her too. I really look like my mom. Um, she had real thick hair. The only thing I noticed with the men is if we have the thick hair, we get a little higher headline. But my brothers Kevin and Mike, they look like dad, and they were all looking bald by the age of 18. It was I picked them up. It's fast to read the YouTube chat. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, you're good, Peppa. You're all good. I loved it. Hey, it's all right. I'm getting my hair back on my head. I had to start shaving again. I'm a size small blue. There you go. Easy on the dragon. No, I'm good. Mark, I'm good. Yeah, when I was younger, I didn't get the wings. See, if I let it grow long, I get these wings. That was because a long time ago I was ding dong and let somebody talk me into getting a perm. The perm only took on the sides. It didn't take on top. And I looked like Leaf Gary. And it was like, no, 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 no. So I shaved them all. I had them cut immediately. I lasted about a week like that. And I was like, nope, not doing this. Yeah, I'm a regular candy. Eye candy and oracle. I don't know about that. I know I'm starting to show my age, which is fine because I earned this look. But thank you. That's fun. Yeah, we're going to start here in a minute before I get all embarrassed. Um, let's see, 12:34. Yeah, we're going to start here. Every time I donate, they say they can make 3 wigs out of my hair. There you go. Yeah, the longest I ever had it was just down to my shoulder blades. And the craziest I ever had it was when I was a punker, about 78, 79. I had spiked hair, but I worked in the kitchen in a restaurant, so nobody ever complained about it. But when I had it long, when I got it cut, somebody was like, donate your hair. And I go, there's not enough there to donate. Still had some white in it because every time, sometimes when I let it grow long, they had white from my freak out when I was 12. It wasn't a freak out, but it was like when I grow it out, you can really start seeing it come in. And a lot of times I'll let it grow out, and now it's starting to come back again. Yeah, imagine having this kind of a beard when you were like 20 years old. Hmm. I I did it. It stayed kind of a strawberry blonde for a while, and I'd get white streaks. Then I hit it right after I got married. Every time I grew it, it was real white or real peppery. And she's like, "Man, you're gray and old." And I said, "No, huh? It's it's from the time in the past." Now the gray on the sides I've always had ever since I was 12. Yeah. Well, I did lose hair when I did chemo. I look like all my kids said I look like somebody should be driving a white van. I was like, "Nah, not letting that happen." It was took a while to get to grow it back, but I got it to grow back. Yeah, it was funny because my brother Mike's senior picture, all he has his hair is real fine, but you can see just a patch of hair. It was holding all that fine hair on. And then he went into the Navy and it was like, no, I feel like I'm like 90 years old. But we're going to get this started. And hopefully, as I get started, people will come in. She did. Did she really, Blue? I had a soul sucking shock. Turned all the red, blonde, highlights, stone white. I have streaks. Yeah. Now, see, my ex dyes her hair. She still dyes it, and it cracks me up. But when she doesn't, there was one time she said she wasn't going to do it, and then she realized she was getting the white streaks. It wasn't like pat; it was streaks, and it was like she goes, "No, I'm not doing this." So she started dyeing it again. Oh, you have a good weekend too, Mark. Now, I hope to see you tomorrow night for Oracle. Never dye my hair. Yeah, I keep telling her she's gonna damage her hair. My ex had that hair type that during the summer it would turn kind of a blonde, and then during the winter it'd get real dark. Who does your hair? The good Lord. Well, let's get this rocking. I'm gonna get this rocking. We can talk. Why we? I can leave it now. Play it. This is what it's all about, anyways. And so let's get going. This is listener encounters number 12. I will be in chat. I don't remember all who's in this one. So let's go for a run. She, I don't know if she ever wanted me to play the whole things because I know a lot of ramblings, but I love to watch the rambling and sneak to see the past. This one's a year old, so let's do this. I'm hoping to. I'm, I'll probably do one of our Halloween ones when we start getting close to Halloween. So, but here we go. Let me get this paused. Stop there, Gemma, and let me get it on here. Okay, share screen. There we go. Share. Yeah, move myself down the bottom here. There we go. Got everything. And let's get this baby going. Yeah, if you fall asleep, good night. Have a good week and have fun. Enjoy your time. I'm glad and I'm happy you got yourselves rehearsing again. That is so awesome. I hope you find yourselves a good keyboard player too. You guys get rocking again. I'm coming to see you. That's no doubt. Um, I'm just not sure if I'm going to make it away. Okay, let's do this.
But today we are going to be
Oops.
going through Listener Encounters Volume
Can everybody
12.
hear that okay before I
Yay!
stop?
So I
Take
know
it
the
off.
last one was entitled 10, and the one before that was 11,
Now
but the one
somebody
before that was
goes into
9. I got a little mixed up on the numbers. So we're at number 12. This one's number 12, and that's where we'll be going from here on out. I'm running
That's
low
those other
on
two she
listener
screwed
encounters, guys, so please send those in. My email address will be on the screen later on and in the description box as well. Next is going to be number 13, so that's going to be pretty awesome. Our first listener encounter comes from our good friend Philip. Philip says, Gemma, hello. I am a subscriber to Steve Stockton and your channel. I have commented a few times about some personal
Good old
experience
Steve.
I have had. You replied and asked if you could use my story and if I could email it to you. I'm going to retell it along with some other things that have happened. I got married to my wife back in 2001 and we moved into a newly built apartment that was located in central Kentucky. This place was outside of town and in a very rural, secluded area. Plainly put, there were few houses on the road we lived on. The closest neighbor was our landlord, who lived about 3 to 4 miles down the road. All around this apartment were woods, knobs, and a field with cows that belonged to our landlord. So it was me, my wife, and 2-year-old stepson that was living in the apartment. We both worked second shift and we were both off for the weekend. Friday night, my wife and stepson were getting ready for bed. My stepson was sleeping with us because he was having night terrors. They had gone to bed and I decided to stay up late on the computer. I've always had trouble sleeping, so it was nothing unusual. They'd only been in bed for about 10 to 20 minutes and I heard my wife scream out my name. I got up and ran down the hallway and turned on the bedroom light. My wife and stepson were sitting up in bed, wide eyed looking. I asked, What's happened? What's wrong? They looked petrified. My wife said, The bed shook. I looked for a minute and smiled, saying, It was most likely the dog. We had a small dog, a Maltese at the time. She said, It wasn't the dog. The bed literally came up and down. It felt like the bed came up off of the floor. They were both very scared, I could tell by looking at them. So I checked under the bed, in the bathroom, the closet. I even went throughout the rest of the house. I basically laughed it off and told them, if anything else happens, just yell at me and I'll be right back in. I went and got back on the computer. Later, I finally got sleepy and went to bed. The next morning, early, they both got up and were leaving to go to town to go to Walmart. Being as it was my day off and I was sleeping well, I decided to stay in and sleep in. They left and I went back to sleep. Once they were gone, I had gone back to sleep. At some point, I was awakened by the bed shaking. I realized it, but was too deep in sleep, and it hadn't yet registered or occurred to me that this is what had happened the night before. For a second time, the bed shook. This time I realized it enough to open my eyes, but I still hadn't put it together with what had happened the night before. So again, I closed my eyes and again I went back to sleep. For a third time, the bed shook, but this time it shook much more violently. This time it hit me. I remember trying to wake myself up, and when I woke, somehow it was like I knew exactly where to look. I raised up, turned, and looked toward the foot end of the bed. That's when I saw it. For years, the only way I knew how to describe it was a transparent figure, like a ghost, but it wasn't exactly transparent. It had distortion in the figure. It sort of had sparkles from where the light from the bedroom window was hitting it. I think that's the only reason I saw it. There was one open window in the room, and every morning the sunrise would come through that window. I remember it well because it was really annoying. When I saw it, I was obviously filled with fear and pure dread. My parents were very religious, and they used to tell us kids that if we ever saw anything scary like ghosts, spirits, or evil entities, to use the name of Jesus Christ and it would protect us. For some reason, when I saw it, that's exactly what went through my mind. So when I sat up and saw it, after seconds passed, I said, In Jesus Christ's name, leave me alone. After saying that, I instantly got up, jumped out of the bed, and ran out of the bedroom, down the hallway, and into the living room. As I came into the living room, my wife and stepson had just walked through the front door. I remember my wife asking me what had happened, what was wrong, but I couldn't speak. She said, You look like you've seen a ghost. Finally, I was able to settle down from being in such shock, and I was able to tell her what had happened. We stayed in that apartment for about another week and we moved. During the remaining time, we slept together on the living room floor. We wouldn't even go into the bathroom alone. In the coming weeks and months after this happened, my wife and I realized that many odd things had happened before then. As I said, our son was having night terrors, but it was more to it than that. One morning, my wife got up around 6 a.m. and went to check on our son. He wasn't in his room, so she went into the living room and she found the front door wide open. She ran outside to find him in a field across the road, running around chasing our dog in the rain. She yelled at him, and it was like he was in a trance or something. Finally, she was able to get him to come. He didn't remember unlocking the front door to get out. We always keep our doors locked. There wasn't a chair anywhere near the front door, so we assumed we had left the door unlocked by accident. We just figured it was sleepwalking and started allowing him to sleep with us. Another experience, I was alone in the apartment one day on the computer. I heard a knock at the door. I instantly got up and answered the door, but no one was there. Another time, I was sitting at my desk and on the computer. I had everything needed in the house to get some peace and quiet. While sitting there with my back turned, I could hear someone or something heavy walk across the floor right behind me. Of course, I turned and didn't see anything. My wife told me that more than once she felt like someone was watching her. This is an experience I had that I never even told my wife. I thought maybe I was just being super paranoid at the time. Anyway, we both got off of work around 12 every night. She would get home 30 minutes later than me because she would go and pick up our son from her grandmother's house. She watched him while we were at work. Once a week, I would get home early and go out the back door where we kept a grill and I'd grill us steaks or hamburgers. One night, I decided to do this. I went out there and began to grill steaks. I put the steaks on the grill, and all of a sudden, I got a feeling I wasn't alone. And for whatever reason, something told me that I needed to get inside immediately and that I was in danger. I turned the gas and grill off and left the steaks and went back inside. The next day, I was going to grill and recalled leaving the steaks out there on the grill. I thought to myself, this is going to be a mess. When I went to clean the grill, I flipped the grill lid up and the steak was gone. Again, we lived out in the country. There was nothing but woods all around us, and behind our apartment was a clearing fence off where the landlord kept the cows. I've always been a gun enthusiast and I purchased a new AR-15. I couldn't wait to shoot it. One day, I decided to take a hike and went across the cattle field and into the woods. As I got further into the woods, out of nowhere, I got the feeling I was being watched and, again, a really deep feeling I was in danger. Something told me that if I kept going, I would never make it back. I lost all interest in shooting the gun, so I turned around and booked it. As soon as I got out of the woods, I lost the feeling I had and just put the experience out of my mind. I never told anybody because I wondered to myself, am I going crazy? These things happened. My wife and stepson remember, but they don't like talking about it. For me, it had the opposite effect. It sparked my interest into finding out what exactly we experienced. What did I see and experience? Over the past few years, I found out that other people like you and Steve Stockton have had similar experience and call it the Glimmer Man. I've never had any conversations with anyone else that had the same experience, but in an effort to possibly find out more, I'm going to give my opinion and tell you more experience I had after this happened and that I realized later down the road after this experience. So basically, what Philip is saying is that this experience sparked this whole chain of memory for him where he finally started putting two and two together. Before this experience, I had led a really good life. I worked, had a really good job, paid my bills. I believed in God, had a normal upbringing, had really great parents. I never did drugs or drank alcohol. I was 22 at the time of the experience. I don't remember if it was right before the experience or after, but my life turned completely upside down for a few years, and it was like I was possessed or something. I started doing drugs and drinking alcohol excessively. I began showing interest in the occult. I began watching movies with violence and gore. I began having marital problems, and I let it absolutely consume me. Soon the drugs became a problem at work, which couldn't have come at a worse time. I had recently been promoted, of all things. Soon the drugs affected my work attendance and performance. The company tried in every way to help me, and I simply didn't care. This was so unlike me. I loved my job, I loved what I did. My wife became pregnant, and I assaulted her and ended up being locked up. Soon I lost my job, and I was so sick going through withdrawal, I couldn't keep another one. Everything I worked for in the future I had my sights on were gone. During this time, I remember starting to see things out of the corner of my eyes. To be honest, I'd always see them in the dark. It was always shadow figures. They'd be peeking behind a door frame or down a hallway. I remember telling my father and asking him, am I going crazy? My dad would tell me sometimes he had the same experiences. Things just got worse and worse. Soon I was homeless and I began stealing things. I had never stolen anything. I hated thieves. This wasn't me, and I knew it deep down. I began hanging around people that normally you wouldn't even want to let around your dog. I was at the lowest of the low, and my wife had divorced me, but was still trying to give me another chance. It didn't change anything. I had the worst nightmares I believe anyone could have. During all of this time, I would still go through my head what had happened back in that apartment. Was this thing trying to warn me, or was it what brought it on? Finally, after getting into trouble countless times in 2014, I got into trouble enough to where I went in front of a judge that wouldn't slap me on the wrist. He gave me 3 years. During that time, I prayed daily and nightly, and I told myself I was going to make the most out of this. And I did. I spent my whole time doing whatever I could to keep busy and to stay clean. Just because you're in jail or prison, you're not away from drugs. I think they're just as easy to get in jail as they are to get outside of jail. I enrolled in a substance abuse program, and after a year, I was granted parole. I got out, walked my parole officer off, and became free again. I reconnected with my wife and kids. To this day, I'm still clean of drugs and alcohol, and I still pray. To this day, I don't feel like I'm living an evil life. However, I still occasionally see the shadow figures peeping out from behind a doorway, always out of the corner of my eye, but it's very seldom. The reason I've told this last part about my life is to give my opinion. I think whatever the shadow figures in the Glimmerman is, I think they're evil. This brings me to tell another experience I had, but this happened back when I was a kid and teenager. I just want to say, Philip, that definitely um, there are mild forms of demonic possession that could attach themselves to you and make you behave in this way, doing drugs and alcohol when normally you wouldn't, assaults, committing robberies, totally being out of your character and violent like that. I believe any kind of addiction is the result of a mild possession. I know a lot of people disagree with me. We don't have to fight in the comments. I'm just stating my opinion. Feel free to state yours respectfully. So I definitely believe that that can happen. A negative energy might have been around you that you weren't really aware of or didn't think could affect you. And what happened was you took it for granted that it couldn't affect you, and it might have attached itself to you and bloomed into a demonic possession. So, to answer your question about that, yes, I do believe that could have been a mild form of possession. Let's move forward. As a child and teenager, we lived in an older house built back in the 1940s. I had a sister and an older brother. When I was 10 years old, my sister was 18 years old and moved out and into a home of her own. She had had a baby and gotten married. At the same time, my brother was 19 years old and he left for basic training. He joined the army. As I've said, I had great parents. They were religious and worked. They worked and provided for me. My only complaint would be that they were very protective of me. They didn't allow me to stay the night with friends or to hang out with certain kids. When I look back, they were doing the right thing. Those kids I wanted to spend the night with and hang out with were always in trouble. During this time, I developed sleeping problems. I was afraid of the dark. I would stay up all night, and when I would go to sleep, even to this day, I have to have a light or television on. My wife and kids are the same way. It was during this time of my life I remember several times not being able to sleep or being asleep and not being able to move. I'd lay there, be completely frozen, and have an overwhelming amount of fear come over me. I'd sometimes just feel a presence in the room with me. There were times I'd actually feel like I was floating. I remember once coming home from school, and because I hadn't slept the night before, I was exhausted. I came in and literally passed out laying on my stomach in my room. Beside my room was the living room where my dad always stayed. I remember having the feeling of not being able to move, a feeling of fear and of panic, like there was something in the room with me. All of a sudden, I'd feel like I couldn't breathe, and I would realize I was dreaming but couldn't wake myself up. I tried everything and just couldn't wake up. I remember at this time seeing a silhouette, a black figure standing in the doorway with what I thought was the light coming from the living room. But they just stood there. I thought at the time it was my dad, but if it was my dad, why didn't he help me? Again, I just couldn't seem to wake up, and I feel like I was floating, petrified, and not able to breathe. I couldn't move. For whatever reason, I remembered saying to myself, Jesus, please help me. Instantly, I woke up. I was covered in sweat and panting to catch my breath. This happened several times, and I never told anyone about it, not even my parents. I honestly thought at that time I was just having a nightmare. Now, all these years later, I don't think it was a dream. I think it was something demonic. So, right there, you're talking about sleep paralysis. And I mean, if I asked everyone, anyone who's had sleep paralysis encounter or encounter with shadow person during sleep paralysis, put it in the comments. I mean, you are definitely not alone. So Philip's story continues, and he goes on to say, now I'm about to tell you something I found out that validated that experience. So a few years ago, my brother retired from the army. He did contract work for a while, but ultimately decided to come back home. Maybe it was to get away from his divorce, but he came home after 20 plus years. He ended up getting remarried a year or so after he was home and was having a family get together. He and I were alone outside talking, and we had left to go and get something from the store. As we were driving, we got to talking about the old house we lived in and how we both had the same bedroom. It was at this time he told me about experiences he had had in that bedroom where he couldn't move. He said he felt a presence in that room, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't wake up or move. He said he remembered specifically the night before he left for basic training, this happening, and all he could do was look at his alarm clock, and time would go by slowly, and he had the feeling of fear and dread coming over him. He said he just couldn't move or wake himself up. You can imagine my jaw dropping when I heard him tell me this. I think I stuttered trying to get the words out to tell him the same thing had happened to me. When
I know. I'm on mute. Hold on. I boo booed. I boo booed big time. Yeah, I'm not on mute anymore. I'm sorry. I was trying to make the picture a little bigger and I end up getting rid of it. Okay, wait. Stop. Just leave it to me. It's been that kind of day. Okay. Be right back. There we go. It's right here. Thank you. Okay, let me make this picture over. But can I? It's not going to let me do it. Okay, let me do it this way. Okay, much better. Okay, let me move this over here so I can see what I'm doing. I can't believe I did that. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. There we go. And go.
Him. I don't know why, but he shut me down quickly and didn't want to talk about it anymore. That's always been the trouble when I try and talk about these experiences or the paranormal, at least with
So
my own
sorry.
family. They don't want to go there. My wife and stepson were scared, but it's hard for me to imagine my brother being scared of anything.
That's true.
These are my experiences to the best of my memory. I believe in God and Jesus Christ. If there is a good, then there is also an evil, and I think both of these take the form of many of these entities that people experience in their everyday lives. A point that I have tried to make with several people, whether it is shadow people, Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, the Glimmerman, reptilians, ferals, I think evil can take form as any of these, including us people. So many people have witnessed these entities. If you listen to their interviews, many of these witnesses' encounters are just ordinary, sane, everyday people. In multiple encounters with different entities, witnesses have used the name of Jesus Christ to repel the entity, and to their account, it worked. Can this many people who don't even know each other be lying? It's unlikely. I hope by sharing my experiences, it helps someone. At the very least, it'll entertain them. Thanks for reading and sharing my story, Philip. Philip, I've always stood by, and I've said it many times on this channel, the fact that if you are in a sleep paralysis episode dealing with shadow people or anything that causes you fear or dread, call on the name of Jesus Christ. Recite the Lord's Prayer, recite any prayer, do a Hail Mary, whatever. Even if you don't, I've had people who aren't Christian or Catholic who don't even believe in Jesus who have done this who said it worked. It just popped into their head to do it. So for whatever reason, it does work. I 100% believe you. Thank you so much for sharing that part of yourself with me. The rest of it I will get to and respond as soon as I can. Philip, thank you so much. Extremely informative. I love the super long encounters, guys. Keep them coming. Our next encounter comes from Miss Josie, our very own Barbie Melissa Wiggins mom. Here we go. As a newlywed, I lived in Berlin, Germany with my new husband. We lived in the economy, the German population. We lived in a very nice neighborhood. All of the houses were fenced with 5-foot slats that were pointed on the top. I worked at an American convenience store and walked to the city bus and U-Bahn subway. One fall evening on my walk home, it had just gotten dark. A block from my house, I heard the dog who lived across our street. He was pacing up and down the fence line, snorting and salivating really loudly. I couldn't see him because the line of parked cars were between him and me. I was walking toward the guttural sounds of the dog because he was about only 30 feet from my house and the safety of my gate. As I approached the sound of the panting and slobbering dog, I heard the sound of his paws on the cobblestone road. That new sound told me that he was out of his fence and was coming toward me at a fast pace. I leaned against my own gate and waited for the impending attack. I saw him running toward me. I closed my eyes and whispered a prayer. I saw the animal slide to a stop at the end of the last parked car. He stood still and glared at me with amber eyes. I stood still with my arms outstretched and waited. Then he snorted one last time as if he recognized me and had dismissed his attack plan. After what seemed like an eternity, he turned and trotted off toward his own yard. I opened my gate and went into the safety of my own house. I whispered a thankful prayer. I knew that God had spared me, and I was grateful. I believe you 100%. I can tell you so many stories, and I am. I am going to do my own encounter series, guys. Miss Josie, I think I have another one from you. So before I clap, let me find it. Okay, Miss Josie, I couldn't find another one from you, but I know I should have one. So if I missed any, please let me know. Our next one comes from Nordland too. He sent me a whole bunch of very short ones. So I'm just going to go into like 3 or 4 of them, and these are from Nordland too. I sat and talked to an elderly couple for at least 45 minutes in the Gardner House Museum. I told them nice chatting and I had to leave. I went out the front door and all of a sudden I felt really tired. I sat down on the front porch steps and a guy came walking up. I said to him, "That's a really nice old couple you have working here." We chatted for a long time. The guy looked at me like I was crazy and said, "There's no one in there." He took out his keys and unlocked the door and went in. I had just spent 45 minutes talking to a couple of ghosts. This one's called the Octagon House. I was walking back to town from my friend's farm. It was about a 5 mile walk. I took a shortcut down Newburgh Road and was walking past the spooky old Octagon House. Everyone was afraid of that old house. I decided I would go into it for bragging rights, beer courage. I went in the back door and looked around the first floor. Looked like no one had been in there for many years. The place was my friend's grandpa's house. My friend said there is some weird stuff that goes on there, so stay away from it. Anyway, I decided to check out the second story. It had a spiral staircase. It was pitch black on the stairs. When I got to the top of the stairs, there was a big bedroom with no curtains on the windows, and a big full moon was shining in that lighted the room up. The place was creepy, but I didn't see any ghosts or anything spooky. So I went back down the stairs and out the back door and went home. The next day, I went downtown and met up with a bunch of my friends, and I told them of my adventure, and we all decided to go to the Octagon House and drink some more beer. We got there and walked to the back door, and the guy who was in the front said, "You said you went upstairs?" And I said, "Yeah." The guy said, "You did not go up those stairs." I looked, and the stairs were all rotted. You could see through them to the basement. I don't know how, but I did get up them stairs. Just one of those things you can't explain, I guess. When I was a teenager, I used to go downtown and wait for my friends to show up and we would go party. I was hanging out at the bank and a casual friend named Paul showed up and said, "Hi, what's up?" And just as he said that, lightning flashed and he got a frightened look on his face like he was afraid of me. And he started babbling and turned and ran off. I don't know what he saw, but he avoided me like the plague after that. And one last one from Nordland, too. Downtown, there was a building where back in the 1920s, a lawyer took his own life by jumping out of the window of his office. Fast forward to the 1990s, and that building was a pawn shop I used to go to and buy my secondhand tools. One day I was in there browsing around, and all of a sudden the street door burst open and a rush of wind came in. And the owner and myself heard footsteps come in the door and through the store and up the stairs to the second floor. The store owner and I looked at each other, and he had a freaked out look on his face. I said to him, "I'm getting out of here. Bye." Nordland, thank you so much. Miss Josie, thank you so much. Philip, thank you so, so much. Just so everyone knows, this is the last of my listener encounters, except one that I'm still going through and editing because it was super duper long and I have to make sure it's easy for me to read as I go through it. Guys, please be sure and give this video a big thumbs up, not just because you enjoyed hanging out and spending this time with me, but also for the people who put themselves out there, shared their stories, and were brave enough and kind enough to let me share them with you all. Spread the love by sharing this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please, even if you are already subscribed and you know it, make sure your notification bell is turned on. If you have any experiences with the supernatural and or paranormal, please feel free to email me at GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com and I will put them in a future episode of Listener Encounters. We're already at number 12. I can't wait to see how spooky number 13 is. Guys, be sure and send them in because like I said, I am out. The longer, the better. Please be sure and check out the description box for all the usual stuff, some important information. There will be links to the paperback and Kindle version of my book, which, by the way, guys, thank you so, so much for all of your support, all of you who purchased it. If you've already read it, please go on Amazon and leave a really good review for me. I would really appreciate the 5 stars. All right. Thank you so much. Also, in the description box, there will be links for the live stream Steve Stockton and I do every single week, fireside chat, the live oracle readings right here on Wednesday nights, and campfire stories. If you've never joined a live stream, go on in the description box, check one out, check them all out, and see if you can come and pop in. They're all a really, really great time. We have so much fun, and we're like a big family that we really love for you to join. Also in the description box, PayPal and Patreon information to make financial donations to the channel, or my Amazon gift wish list link for the channel, which has oracle decks and signage, all kinds of things for my new home office that I'm starting to make this channel better, to make my career go further so I can do more for and give more to you guys. Remember, always justice for Caleb Smith. I'm hoping to have the updated interview with April done soon. There's a lot of new information and a lot of it is really, really good on April's side. So, guys, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. Always go in grace, smile at a stranger, have your best day, have your best night, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Now that I'm off mute, we'll get this other one ready to go. Pause for a bit. Your owl's back? Interesting. Ooh, interesting. Hold on, let me find this real quick so I don't have to load it up again. That one was a year old. Okay, let me see. Dun, dun. Oh, where are you? There we go. Okay, get that ready there so I know where it's at. Tonight I heard him real close. He was hooting. What does that mean? I don't know. It depends. How long has he been there now? Oh, really? How long has he been there? How long has he been going? Question: has he been there since your daughter's been back? So, in other words, when he came, oh, since last night? Interesting. Huh. Watch for other signs. It's only been 24 hours. Just keep an eye on him. Give it time. Yeah, this owl thing with you, every time you bring it up, every time I see you, I see owls. I don't know why, but all I can get is there's something they're trying to convey, something or an omen to something that may happen. I don't know, but I get the impression when they show up, things seem to start. You start noticing things, maybe, right? No, since last night. Yeah, give it a little time. I know that when you were talking about the owl last time, you noticed other animals too. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm actually feeling better. Block on the 10th. There you go. Block on the 10th. Yeah, after they did some work here and they did some work back in here. I feel like I'm slowly getting my voice back. It's going to take time. I don't think I ever really have it back. Yes, the coyote. Yeah, see? So let me know if you see a fox. Have you seen your share of foxes too? I'm just curious. I feel good. Now, I've been a little more attentive to myself. That probably helped. But see, when I'm busy, I'm at my best. And I've been doing a lot. All the time? Yeah. Keep an eye on the foxes too. But the owl's the main thing. Seems like when the owl comes around, other things start to stir. And I don't know if you're just not seeing it. I'm not there, so I can't tell you. But that owl's, it's like I said, it's weird. Every time I see you, I think of owls. And it's funny when you bring them up because it's like, how long is it? I'm thinking, how long has it been since she's seen the owl? Because that's good. I think he's not. I don't think he comes to tell you bad things or bring bad things. But I think he's definitely some kind of omen, of change or something. Something that's getting ready to happen again. Something. I thought it was kind of funny when you stopped talking about the owls. Your daughter started having her issues. So, and you don't know how long those were going on, but about the time you found out, right? I could be wrong. I'm trying to put time and space here together. But foxes are interesting. Um, when you start seeing mixed animals around, be really aware of what happens now. Yeah, just pay attention to small details. Something that just a small detail that just doesn't. It kind of it's a deep. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes small details stand out, and sometimes we notice them, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes that little small detail means a lot, but that's only from my own experience. I'm speaking from my own experience. Sometimes it's the little things that gives it away. You just got to pay attention. But sometimes it'll flash right before your eyes. And if you're not paying attention, you may not catch it either. But that's all my experience. But yeah, definitely every time you bring up owls, I laugh because I'm thinking, how long has it been since she's brought up owls? But yeah, stay aware. It's always good. I'm very aware of my surroundings. Freaks people out. First time, when I first go somewhere and I've never been there, if you watch, I'm scanning everything, paying attention to every detail. It's a good thing. I'm glad she's not having any more problems. Between you doing your, you sent that? Did you go and do her house? That's what you said, right? You went and smudged her house and everything, gave her crystals. I think between that and her telling her just to leave her alone was the key, her strength. When I see them in the broad daylight, that's not, yeah, usually when they're walking around in front of you during the day, it's things like that. Pay attention to things like that because, foxes are pretty much nocturnal. Coyotes move at night. Now, see, we used to have a screech owl that used to come around during the day. And it was pretty funny because not much after that is when we found out mom was sick. And he hung around until she got real bad, and then he disappeared. And then it was about a year later she passed. Yeah, that's what I thought you said you did. Yeah, I remember you telling me all that. I just couldn't remember all you did. I knew you smudged. Yeah, I think that helped, and her standing up was probably the biggest thing. And she may be a little more gifted than she thinks. I definitely think she's an empath. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The question is, you got to watch other family members now. And Florida water the next day. There you go. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that was the big thing. Was her? I agree. Her standing in front of him and standing up to him was probably the best thing she did. See, a lot of times that's the key. And when they do come, you just play them off, laugh at them, ignore them. They don't like that, especially the shadow beings. They don't like being ignored. Now, see, when I see them, I don't think there's been a couple times they've seen me back. I know they've seen me back, but most of the time it's like they don't even see me. And when they do, it's really weird kind of vibe. It's like they're scared of. I wouldn't say scared of me. They're reluctant of me is more the word. Yes. Oh, you put crystals in the girls' room too. She has children, right? Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Sometimes when you get them away from you, they go after somebody else in the house. That was what I was trying to hint at. That's good. You smudged their rooms too, right? The whole house, everything. Windows open, the whole kit and caboodle, right? I saw a video where this man and wife had a little daughter, and they had to moved into this house, and they were kind of working on a house, or where they stripped this wall. There was a painting of the sun with a face in it. And after a couple of days, the little girl started talking to this painting on the wall of the sun. and singing to it and holding conversations with it. Well, she got kind of weirded out by it. Well, one night she was digging at the floor. The little girl was digging at the floorboard underneath where the painting was, right? The painting's above it, and right underneath it was wooden panel floors, trying to bang open the panel floors. But when she finally went to sleep, they took her downstairs and popped the panel floors open, and there was a Ouija board there underneath the floor. And when they flipped it over, there was a sun on the Ouija board. It was like homemade Ouija board, and the same face sun was on the Ouija board that was painted on the wall. And they don't know what to do. Well, first of all, you can't burn the Ouija board because that sometimes ends up in a bad way. So you're going to have somebody come in there and close it. Because to the one they opened something, they manifested something and opened it up. No way now you can just get somebody in there to close it. Yeah, I would worry. 3 and 13, I would keep an eye on both of them. They're both at those ages, especially 3-year-olds. So just keep your eyes peeled. I don't want to say things. I don't want to curse. No, I don't want to blow it. But if she's as strong as I think she is, your daughter, she may have just gotten him out of the house. And with you doing what you did, may have helped quite a bit. So hopefully they don't have any more trouble. Somebody told me to have the house blessed, to tell you to go get the house blessed, just out of safety. Good to have somebody come in and bless the house. It's not hard to do. Lived closer, I'd send Thomas over. That's what he does. He blesses houses. Now, he's been a big help for me. He's the one that helped me with the demon over at the apartment complex. That poor kid. I wonder how he's doing. I haven't seen him since. It's been a long time. At least good 12 years. Last I heard, he got married and got a little child. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. That's all I know. But I hope he's good. Hope he found his way. But we're going to get started on this next one, since that's what I do on these nights. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. 13. Where did 13 go? I just had it. Part 2. Oh, you ding dong. Here we go. Okay, that was loud. Okay, now I'm going to see what she said here. She said, Mom, I see the light in the dark. We have celery in the family. We can have the house blessed. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a good thing to do if you have any kind of Christian faith. It's always good. Before clergy, yeah, good. I figured that's what you meant. Celery. I was giggling. Before we moved back into the house, before they brought everything back in the house, I smudged. Thomas came over, blessed the house. Then when they brought everything in and the house was just nothing but boxes and stuff before we started pulling stuff out, he went and blessed everything. And 2 preachers. That's what Thomas is. So that's good. But yeah, he came in and blessed everything again. Like I said, that thing that showed up that night, it was meant to. I noticed since we did all that, Mom comes in, checks on Dad, and leaves. She doesn't hang around. It's pretty wild. I know she's here. I know she's gone. Two preachers. Yeah, that's what I wanted to be. But I was told to take a different path. I just wondered how much I would have wandered off as a preacher, because I kind of wandered around for a while when I was in my teens and 20s until I got married. I felt like in her old house, she moved into a brand new townhouse. It's not the house, it's her. Yeah, I was going to say, you said You were pretty sure of that. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Yeah, a lot of times it's not the house. A lot of people don't realize a lot of time it is not the house. Now, yeah, sometimes you get move into a place that's got something that's not right, but a lot of times it's a person. A lot of times people are freak out when they find out, oh, it's somebody in the house. Yeah, it's usually somebody in the house. And I wonder how long she's been seeing them. And she said she just now talked about it, you know, recently. I'm just wondering how long she was actually seeing it. I wish I could see her ghost. I wish I could see her ghost. I don't know. I felt something in her whole townhouse. She moved. Well, the thing is, that if the how old was the house, do you know how old the house was? See, that's the thing about Worthington here. A lot of these neighborhoods are old neighborhoods. A lot of it was farmland. See, Worthington was a slave plate, a place for the railroad ran through the Worthington. The Underground Railroad ran through Worthington. The people in Worthington were known to as bounty hunters would try to take slaves back to the South. They would distract the bounty hunter and free the slave. And then actually, the house they used to do the tunnel. There was an actual tunnel they hid them in. That's still in the area, but this has got a rich history. So old houses can be the key, but sometimes it's people. Since childhood, I wish that you could see her. I wish you, I wish you could see her. See if you could see an attachment. That's usually all it takes. You got a picture of her, email it to me. Send me a couple. Sometimes I don't see it right away in pictures and video. But yeah, it's usually what it takes. It's like I purposely have just stuck working around house. I've only been going out when I needed to. It's like I went out today and did a bunch of running, but it was a good day. I didn't see much, thank goodness. It was a beautiful day too. I would do that, Ghost. But she is not paralyzed when this happened. Yeah, that's what you said. I understand that she wasn't paralyzed when it didn't happen. When it happens, you know, there's a lot to the sleep paralysis, but I know people that experience the same thing that don't suffer sleep paralysis. They're aware, they're moving, they can get sit up, and they're watching these things. So it's. I'm not saying sleep paralysis. I agree. I think a lot of times the people of science are just they don't know, so they say, "Oh, it's this and this and this." I'm telling you, when you see and hear everybody talking about the same things, I'm sorry, there's something to it. But like I said, I know people who see the same things people in sleep paralysis, and they're moving around perfectly aware. So I wouldn't say it's common. It's not uncommon. But yeah, it's like sometimes I have a hard time in streams with streamers because I see stuff. Now I've noticed that when I'm watching actual live streams, I'll see things, streamers with things. So I've backed off certain streamers. Um, I haven't been able to watch like I used to watch Salty and all them. I can't watch Salty live anymore because he definitely has something that stands behind him. I can't tell if it's good. It can't be bad because man, he's a rockin', but he definitely has something. I think it's a family member. I really do. Um, and there's a couple other people I watch that I see every so often something stand behind them. So I backed off a little bit because it's kind of nerve wracking to try to watch somebody and see something moving around behind them. I told her I'd bring Super Circle with her. There you go. That's fun. To get out. I've been dreaming a lot lately. 3 days after she told me dreamt was fighting something. Maybe you were. Just with your out around, just keep your eyes open. Pay attention real close. Now see now, Edna, that's nothing new for me, especially on this time of year. The last three Halloweens, I love Halloween. I mean, I love Halloween. I love the ambiance. I love that's when I go and really watch all my old favorite horror movies and stuff. But this time of year, especially the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st, and November 1st are my worst nights now the last 3 years. I wake up with bruises on me. It's like they're strongest to get even with me for all the times I see them when I'm not supposed to. I guess I don't know, but I do. I wake up with they look like burn marks. Sometimes I get full handprints. Sometimes just bruises, really odd looking finger bruises on me. So yeah, and you've seen them. I've shown them on here, so I know what you're talking about. You're definitely fighting something. And how often does that happen? I'm supposed to be showing another video, and we're talking this. I have, I've, I have no more Halloween decorations. I have more Halloween decorations than Christmas. See, I'm a Santa Claus guy, so I have a lot of Santa Clauses. Oh, do you? Now, my friend, they ran a funeral home, and they had a Halloween party, but they wouldn't have it at the funeral, of course. But he had a nice big house with a big chunk, just huge front yard, and he would have a Halloween party, have a couple coffins with kegs in them, and he'd all do it. Oh, it was really cool. He'd do it up. That has never happened to me before this. Interesting. Okay. Well, maybe you should bless your house too. Have you? Yeah, I'm taking it. You probably smudge and everything too. Your own place. So if you're having those kind of dreams and you're smudging your house, and the owl shows up, did the owl show up? No, you said the owl's only been there 24 hours. Maybe that's why the owl showed up. Maybe he's there to protect you. There's something. See, I don't think with the owl, I don't think it's anything bad. That's why I keep bringing it up. I think it's something good. And I just don't know yet. This is this is when I wish I could go somewhere. It would probably only take me like a day to figure this out. Maybe figure it out and give you my opinion, as I would say. But I'm telling you, something special has something to do with the owl, and it always seems to come around like right now. You had these dreams since she told you. Maybe he's trying to protect you. I did get my crystal set and used. There you go. Yeah, I would keep doing that. I would also, like I said, bless your house too. Do both houses in one shot. It'd be a good thing. You might want to, anyways, because you've been in her house. So think about that too. As long as you're not seeing what she's seeing, I'm not too worried. Yeah, that's what you were saying. They see. Now I'm telling you, they're some kind of protector, some kind of good omen for you. They watch over you. Yeah, I don't even know what my spirit animal is. I know it's not a dragon. I know my birth year is a rabbit. Chinese birth year, whatever it is, says I'm a rabbit, but I wouldn't say that's my spirit animal. I'm more like a creepy crawly critter, a little newt or salamander. I've never seen a shadow person. Be glad. It's unsettling. Even the good ones kind of give you the creeps. Peppa H. I've never had any experience. Have you had any lately? Yes, Peppa. Lately, I see things. I see the things that follow people. I'm not like Gemma. I have now. See, I've dealt with this for a long time, so I'm not afraid to go out in the public. I can't protect myself. It's just something that just doesn't work for me. But to go back to what you asked, yes, I see things daily. It's usually things that are following other people. Um, I've had my share of black-eyed kid experiences, but not like you would expect. I see mine in the hospitals, and every hospital I've ever been in, I see one, and it's always the same one too. I've seen a white-eyed girl before, but yeah, I see the things that follow people. It's creepy and interesting at the same time. Um, like I tell everybody, everybody's heard this 1,000 times. I see three types. The There's one type that are usually a spirit. That's a human that's passed. That's either mad or angry at the person, or is protecting the person. Two, angelic or demonic. I can usually pick up on the angels or guardians real quick. The demonic ones like to toy and play with you. So, and a lot of times they don't see me, I see them. But lately, with the way this world's been, last few months have been kind of a nightmare. So I've kind of stayed close to home and only gone out when I've needed to. But yeah, I see stuff. They can room the ground. It's sit on the deck. Use the porch swing. Just don't come in my house. There you go. Come to me in my dreams like a normal dead person. I I don't. I see dreams. Like I said, when I dream, I remember my dreams, and they're usually of great battles or something that's going to come in the future. Future. What was that question? But now they know you can see them. You know, I don't. I don't think they do. I don't think some of them realize it. And oh, no sweat, Peppa. Um, I don't think so because I still see ones that I know don't see me. There have been a few lately, but the ones that have seen me haven't what would call regular things. They were a lot stronger, a little more evil, which is something that usually when I run into things like that, it's in a passing. I don't, but I've had almost a couple times have instant contact with it, and it's not good. Those couple events there kind of made me stay close to the house. Even Dad notices when I'm with him when we're out and about that I'm really kind of like scanning everything. I'm on edge because what I'm seeing now lately. Now the day I saw the one thing I did see today that really made me happy was there was an elderly guy at the gas station, um, and I think it was his wife that was with him, kind of holding him up. It looked like she was literally looked like she was holding him up. I didn't see her, but that was a feeling I got. It was like he was safe and secure. So, but some of the other stuff, sometimes I don't see that kind of good stuff. Lately, it's not. It's more bad than it is good. That's right, and that's how I see them in my dreams. A lot of people do. You know, Gemma has dreams them too, and she sees them outright. My dreams are prophetic as a real. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, and things I can smell, I can see them. It feels like I'm touching them. The battles I'm in, I feel the cuts. I fear me hitting things. It's wild. Um, when I have dreams, now see, like every couple months, I get this dream of the United States splitting and the Mississippi becoming huge, like bigger than no Nile, huge, huge, like bigger than the Amazon. It literally something literally splits this continent. I found them frustrating. Like I get messages, but then not the date or it's not supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to know the day or the time. That's how I've always accepted it. I've never gotten a day or a time or seen like a flash of a calendar or anything. And it's I honestly think it's not meant to be. We're just meant to know. Like a warning, yes. Sounds like you're reliving past. Yeah, when it comes to the battles, I know I am. And there's always three different types. It looks like a Roman Greek, but it's older than that. Kind of a war, swords, and weird. It's weird. I'm wearing. I wouldn't say like a Roman outfit. It's really weird. But it feels like that. It feels older than that. Then I have a dream where I'm in a samurai battle, which is really weird because long story there. Anyways, um, I I am literally in this bloody samurai. I mean, close contact. A lot of people. It was crazy. And then there's one. I don't. I'm in the jungles. I don't know if it's like a Korea or Vietnam. I still haven't placed it yet, but it's pretty crazy too. And then, and I see the thing is, I was born then. I was alive during Vietnam. I wasn't alive during Korea, but I was alive during Vietnam. But it's really weird. And I also have a dream that's really, I think, is like ancient, and that's I wouldn't say I'm like a Viking, but more barbarian type. I don't like it's weird, but they're very vivid. They're very vivid. Um, I actually survived these wars and go home, and it's weird because I actually dream going into a hut, coming back to. It depends on the war. I come home and I open the door, and there's always a woman there and a child there. I never see them. That's when I wake up, but it's weird. I don't know. I would think Korea too because I wasn't born yet. The Samurai War and the barbarian Viking type wars, those are the bloodiest. The Roman War, I want to call it Roman, it's like that Sumerian age kind of thing. It wasn't really a. I didn't see like a. It was more like I was a general or something. I was always seemed to be in the back overseeing it, but I always go home. It's really weird. I always make it home. What do you think of memories you have in a dream? It, as in you see or someone tells you something and you actually remember something that never happened. When I dream, it's like Edna says, I feel like I'm dreaming of a past life event. Um, when it comes to the more detailed dreams of things to come or may come, it's usually I. It's just vivid actions. There's like in those dreams, there's like no sound. I'm just seeing flashes, and it's really weird. It's like I'm traveling through, and I'm seeing just flashes of what's going on. I see explosions. I see a war. One of the first flashes is of a great war. Sounds like you're catching glimpses of future. Yeah, I would say the same thing. If that's the kind of dreams you're having prophetic dreams. If you can remember them when you get up in the morning, write them down. Seriously, write them down. I think I hit my limit. Good night, Mark. You have a pleasant one, sir. I should be showing the next video, but we all got to talking about this. If you guys really want me to show it, I'll show it or I'll save it for next week. What time is it? Oh, 1:40. I mean, if you want me to show it, I can show it, or we can wait and I'll save 13 for next week. I see, hear, smell. Just see, that's the thing. Doing the all the, now in those kind of dreams, I don't. Like I said, they're flashes, but in when I'm dreaming of these wars, I feel everything. I smell everything. I smell the cannon fire. I smell things burning. I feel the sword in my hand. Yeah, they're more like past memories, some a past life maybe. I do believe that we've all probably lived a past life. Now, here's my intake on reincarnation. I believe, depending on who you are and what you believe, but my my theory is because I keep having these type of dreams. I believe I keep having these dreams until I get it right. So there's something I need to do, and once I get that right, maybe I can move on and go to heaven or go wherever I go after that. I'm hoping heaven, the dreams are meant to tell me something that I'm supposed to do, but it's because I don't sleep. These happen within an hour, 2 hours of sleep span. When I do get longer sleeps, that's usually when I'm astro projecting myself because either pain's too bad or I'm tired of being all the time. So I literally leave my body. I've gotten to the point where I'm getting good at it again. It used to come natural. And then, like I said, once I had kids and started having a life, it changed. But good night, Mark. You have a wonderful Sunday. I keep thinking Sunday because I usually do this on Saturday. Have a wonderful Saturday and hope to see you tomorrow night. The whole deja vu. Now, I have horrible deja vu. Deja vu thing happened to me since I was a kid. I can remember them. Yeah, deja vu messes with me. In fact, was it Monday or Tuesday? I had it real bad. Did I get deja vu all the time? And I hate that because something's that alternate universe is trying to tell you something. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's just because you're actually doing the same actions you did the day before, or something, or you're too repetitive." But no, I don't think so. It is so. It is weird. It is weird because I know other people are like that too. That have deja vu all the time. My friend Dan, he used to get it real bad too. He'd said he'd be playing. In high school. He was the head. I jokingly say head jock. He was the big time scorer, running back guy. Anyways, he said he would have deja vu in a game all the time. He said it was crazy. It's like knew I would do this, and I was able to change it. It was like I could see it. Nope, I don't think so. But yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to play that. I'll do 13 next week because we're having a pretty good conversation. I still got 5 people watching. It's almost not worth playing right now. 6. I'm enjoying this conversation. Now, me and Aunt Nan are running the board here. Uh, Anybody else got something to say? And Peppa got in here. Yeah, memories in a dream are good because that's basically you've lived a past life. Or I, I'd like the sound of that actually. Memories in a dream. I think there is something to the whole souls connecting thing. That's we do to stay with the same group of souls. That kind of makes sense actually. I do. There are people in my life that I know that I've met before in a past life, if that makes sense. Maybe they're in their past life, like Gemma always talks about. I believe that happens, and somehow you reconnect some way or form. It's weird because sometimes I always notice that it's like that other person knows, but they're not sure. Hold 1 second here. In my dreams, I would do something or see something, but remember stuff before. Yeah, and that's almost the same premise as deja vu. I heard tonight that karma is the baggage we carry, and we have to break the soul contracts that didn't work for us. That makes sense. Um, Everybody looks like karma. And I've heard Gemma has a pretty good intake on karma. Um, but I have a kind of a different view. I really do believe what goes around comes around. That's part of karma. Hold on one more second. Got a little dry mouth. But that's how I think. That's how I think. We live in a what goes around comes around. That's how our lives always are. We're always circling back one way or another. We don't want to slurp. It's all ice. I will say these cups keep things cold. I love my cup. Do you think reincarnated people come back into the same family? I think in some cases it does. I don't think in all cases, but yeah, I think in some case there's a gene. In some cases, yeah, I think there's a gene involved that this is linked that may be important to some event or something that was supposed to be taken care of or is getting ready to be taken care of. Yeah, I believe that. I can believe that. But I think most reincarnated people, if you ever read some of the stories that come out of children's mouth, there's a book somewhere, and I gotta remember what it was. It tells stories of kids that talk about past lives. Just all of a sudden started acting. Hey, I mom, talking. There was a kid that was a young little boy who kept talking about flying airplanes during the war, and then there was one little girl who talked about being a nurse during the Civil War. And then it turned out these people had done research on these people they were talking about, and they actually existed. So yeah, but there was no family connection. But I think there is instances, yeah, that some people may be reincarnated within the same genetic line. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that could be possible. I knew things before I was taught them. Excuse me again. Here's the thing with me. I'm like that. I seem to know things sometimes just out of the blue. I don't know if I've learned it before, or I I have. I wouldn't say a photographic memory, but I have a good memory. I can see things and immediately I go back to it. Uh, but it's really weird because sometimes stuff comes out of my mouth at the right time, and I'm like, how did I know that? And I knew I was right, and even argued that I was right, even though I don't know where it came from, and then gone back and looked and said, "Oh my god!" Or with that person going back and said, like you're right, and I go, "Yeah." I don't know where it came from. I've been like that, and stuff pops up in your head that you have no idea where it came from. When it comes to something even strange, I was never really good at science, but probably in my early 30s, I noticed I was picking up on science stuff really fast. I mean, real fast. And I'm not no mathematician either. And I was starting to understand really stuff real fast. And I started to realize I knew things that I never realized I knew, that I either learned in school somewhere or somebody said something that stuck. But also, I do a lot of research over the years. I've done a lot of research. So you stumble across that stuff, and not information also gets put in your head. I'm hoping that's the case because, yeah, there are times it's like, holy crap, how did I know that? They always called me an old soul. See, I feel like an old. I don't feel like an old soul. That's the thing. Even though I know that I've been around a while, I don't know why I want to say that, but I feel like I have a very young soul. I'm very, as you can see, I still enjoy my childish things. I don't worship them, but it's a part of me. It's who I am. I kind of embrace it. See, I was told that when they come back, it's in the opposite. See, I've heard that too, but it's not always. It's not always true. Um, but I've heard that too, where a little girl had talked about. See, in this book, I'll have to find a book. I know I have it somewhere buried. And I'll find out who it's written by, and see if I can find it and put it up here. Um, and I called false memories, but I've asked a friend, and they have never had them. And some people don't. Now, see, I don't think I was ever a woman. I was always a guy. Now, like I said, there are stories of little girls remembering themselves being a man, and there's been little girls and boys remember themselves being a woman at one time. No, Ghost Dragon. An old soul means you've been here before and have past knowledge. Yeah, that's what I meant. I feel like I've been around. I feel like I've lived past souls and stuff. I know what you meant. Am I right? But I still feel like this old soul must have been very young at heart. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can still be an old soul, and an old soul can still be young at heart, if that makes sense. That's what I feel like. Because there's knowledge, like I said, things in the past. This is why I'm so always so caught up in ancient history or forbidden history. That's why I call it those things. Because this is history stuff that I honestly think they don't want us to remember. Or they know some, but they don't know it all. I think they're discovering quite a bit right now. I think this world has been, let's say, flipped a couple times and has been on restart a couple times. But I know what you're saying. That's funny. Yeah. It's funny because like I said, YouTube, your comment just popped up. Now it's just popping up on SteamYard. You need to write your own dreams down. I do write my dreams down. It really helps to remember, go back. Oh, you're talking to me or talking? You know, I remember them. Sometimes I write down the important ones when I have really, like, not too long ago, I had the dream of the samurai war. It was like during the Shogun era of the time. And like I said, at the end of before I always wake up, I'm walking into wherever I live. In this case, it's a real fancy dojo kind of deal. It's beautiful in this one. And I go in, I open the door, I slide the door open, I kick off my sandals, step in, and like I said, there's a woman and a child there. And I never see their faces. But this time when I walked in, there was a roast duck on the table. And I could tell the child was a boy. And I had to write it down because that was something I never noticed before. And that's happened also in other dreams, but that in that particular dream, that's what happened. So I write down samurai dream. This is what the way it ended this time. Now, see, sometimes I've made drawings of my dreams. There's some put away, some kind of creepy ones too. Um, I drew my Lady in the Light when I came back from my astral projection. That was an interesting night because I only slept maybe an hour and a half. I wouldn't sleep, but I felt like I was gone all day. I mean, literally, I felt like I was gone all day. When I came back, it was only like an hour and a half. I was like, holy crap. I immediately drew her. When my mom passed away, my great grandson was 4 days later. Yeah, the 20-year marker. I see my mom and him. See, that's what a lot of my dad, well, not much of my dad's family's left anymore, but my mom's family, what's left of them, they always say I look like mom. Yeah, I do too. I believe we are born with gifts, and I think some of them are all the same gifts, but with different twists to them. If that makes sense. There's a girl on YouTube that will draw these things for you ghosts. She's awesome. Really interesting. No, I don't know if I want to see draw. That's one of the reasons I like to watch um, Amy's show, Dead Files, right? Was to watch the sketch artists and see how when she described him, how good of a job that they could bring into life for her. Some of them were really good. I've seen a couple episodes where the guy was pretty bad, but I don't know if I'd want somebody to draw the stuff I see. Some of it, especially the demon. I actually that I would like to have somebody draw a picture of, but I'd be afraid of drawing a picture of it because this thing was disgusting. But the only way I think anybody would understand is if I had a picture of it because it was bad. It was bad. And the Hat Man. Now, that would have been an easy draw. I could have drawn that. I probably should one day draw exactly how I saw him standing there in that school hallway. I'll never forget that crap. That smile, no face, no eyes, just that grin. It showed me, duh. Ugh, I still get really thinking about it. There's a, yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. I'm trying to go back and I'm rereading. Yeah, she got that 20 marker going. My white lady, my lady in the light. Everybody calls her white lady. It's a lady in the light. Actually, I do have it right here. I don't know if you saw it. This is how I drew it the time. This is what this I drew this the morning about an hour after I got up. And this is what she looked like to me, if you can see it. That's what I drew. It's pretty basic, but that's what I saw. That was the best way I could do it with what I had. That's what I saw. Now the wings I put on, because I could swear I saw wings, but it could have been a gown too, because her gown was kind of flowing, which I didn't really portray in this. But she was pointing. But before she pointed, that's the last thing I remember, because that's where she disappeared. I woke up sitting on the edge of the bed. But that's pretty much I drew. Like I said, I drew it like an hour after I woke up. That's what I drew. I don't know if she is an angel, but I do know she's angelic. Like I said, the light is really, really bright, and all I can see is the outline. I can never see her face. Sometimes it feels like she's talking to me. Sometimes it feels like she sings to me. That day, that first time I saw her, I mean, like I said, it felt like an all day experience. Um, she told me things that nobody knew about me. She told me things about my children. Um, she told me things about my mom and dad and my brothers. She told me some things about some other people. Uh, at the end of the conversation, she told me I needed to watch over and protect two certain people. That's who she's pointing at. She pointed at these two people. I looked, went to look. I looked back at her and I said, "Well, one I understand, but why the other?" And she said, "You will see." And she was gone. She still comes to me. Actually, she gives me a lot of relief. Now that I'm getting older, the pain gets a little harder to fight. She seems to know when that comes. Usually, she comes to me to kind of coach me on. She never tells me anything directly. She doesn't talk in riddles, but she makes it out. She makes it so I understand that this is something I need to figure out, or and when she does tell me out things outright directly, it's very simplified. I don't. It's hard to explain. Can you sleep after good? Yes, actually, when I astral project, I'm very rested when I come back. When I go see her and ask for protection, when I come back, I feel great. I mean, I still rock and do things, but I feel great mentally. I'm ready to rock and roll. When she comes to me in my dreams, she's actually come to me during the day too. Dad said there was about a half hour that I sat in this room. I don't remember, but it was like a half hour. He said I just sat and was looking out the window. He said he called to me and he thought I was asleep, but he said you were rocking, but your eyes were open. But you definitely was somewhere else. Um, but yeah, when she comes to me in the dreams, I wake up really peaceful. That's pretty rare though. Usually when she comes to me, it's like at the end, right before I wake up. It's like it's really weird. I'll have a dream, and then at the end of the dream, she shows up, and she'll either tell me something or kind of keeps me coaching for certain things. So, but yeah, those nights I do sleep. But this is gonna sound corny, and I know it's gonna sound corny. But since I started talking to certain people, I've noticed I sleep better. I do meditate. I do Tai Chi. I don't actually meditate. It's hard for me to sit still and actually meditate. So I do Tai Chi. And when I do my Tai Chi, I pretty much take myself out of the realm and just go with it. That's my meditation state. Um, I've been known just to go and sit and just in we have a like I said, there's forest right down from me, small set of woods that leads to the river. Sometimes I'll go down there and just sit on a rock, bound by the creek, and just kind of try to calm my body. I mean, I'm still rocking back and forth, but it's nice. It's about as close to a meditative state as I can get because it does help calm my soul. It's I missed you, Cindy. There, yeah, it's a great thing, but I got to admit it makes my miss her. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does, Cindy. My pendant. What's that with? That's right here, honey. Right here. I can't sleep with it on. I tried one night, about choked myself. I moved too much. But yes, I do. Um, as for sleep, I take what I get. Um, but I've noticed lately that I am sleeping an average now about 3 hours, which is good. I actually took a nap today, which was nice. I came in here and propped my feet up on my bed and was just I think I was listening to music. I was listening to some classical music station, and he said, I was out." He said, "You were rocking, not real hard, but you were rocking, but you were out." And I was out like about a good half hour. Felt good. I woke up, but I've been on the go so much. I mean, if I don't sleep, I was like after the stream, I'll get up, I'll clean a little bit up in here. I'll go out to the because everybody's crashing. I get a lot more done when everybody's sleeping. I'm awake anyway, so I do a little bit of cleaning before I go to bed, kind of wind my body down. Meditate's a good thing. Um, there's all different types. The big thing is learn how to ground yourself first. Don't be afraid to go out and get barefooted and walk in the grass. That's important. There ain't no joke when they say go out in the grass. Go take off your shoes and plant your good old feet on good solid ground, good dirt ground, not concrete, not just go stand in the grass barefoot. If you're not barefoot, do it with at least slight socks on. You can feel that up underneath your feet. Yeah, I know people that sleep with the rain noise, ambient noise. Try the Hertz stuff is really good too. That's actually helped me a couple times when I've been really bad. I use the Hertz. I'm always barefoot. Now, see, I have a hard time. When I kicked box, I really messed up. I broke almost all my toes. Plus, two of my toes are still webbed. When I was a kid, I had webbed toes, and these two middle fingers were webbed. They fixed these and able to keep them separated. They separated most of my toes, even though they're kind of goofy looking. But my two middle toes are still webbed. Um, so, and my feet are real sensitive after they did all that. At least they got most of them unwebbed. I don't know if you remember the show, The Man from Atlantis. They used to call me the boy from Atlantis. I was a kid. I need to walk barefoot. Yeah, it's important to really just go out and plant your feet. I I do when it's nice outside. Ghost is a dragon. Yeah. When I um when I do go out and when it's nice outside, I do go outside and do Tai Chi barefoot. Oh, that's when I feel my best. Um, I also do it sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling. In the winter, I'll go out in the snow barefoot and do Tai Chi. People freak out. The neighborhood freaks out. The lady next door freaks out every time. How do you do that? I go, I love the snow. It's all in the head, anyways. The dragon is a dragon, yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying that eyes black. Ooh, the black eyes. Uh, Actually, when Aunt Edna was young, she was one of those black-eyed kids that went around terrifying people. And then she realized she was a good person. I'm just picking. I'm just picking. But yeah, I guess the web hands really freaked my dad out. But it was they were afraid as I got older that I wouldn't be able to hold stuff right, like hold a pen. And what's messed up, I found out is a genetic thing in the family. It like skips a couple generations. One of my grandsons, his two fingers here are the only two ones that were webbed when he was born. He has webbed toes, but it's just like me. It's his two middle toes. Now all my toes were webbed. They separated what they could, but for some reason those two middle toes they couldn't unweb. They kept growing back together. Thanks, Coach. You are helping me tonight for days. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's always good to help when I know, know I'm helping. But I'm a maybe I'm a changeling. Ooh, that's a thought. Maybe that's why the owls like you. Faye get along with owls. They're all buddy buddy sometimes. That's fun. I never thought that. Changeling. That's funny. Nah, I don't think you're one of those. My brother-in-law had caveman teeth in the roof of his mouth. Ooh, that when I had two actually when I was younger I had two big huge buck teeth. They tried to fix them with the braces. They wasn't good. They fixed them now, but due to chemo, destroyed some of my. A lot of the chemo was based on my upper body and messed up my mouth pretty bad. And then falling the other day didn't help. Now I always wanted. There's a lady. I saw a video, two videos. One video was a lady that had six fingers on one hand. She actually had six fingers on one hand, which kind of freaked me out because I didn't realize it until she was what they were looking at until I noticed her finger. I was like, oh wow. And then there's a lady in Europe that actually has two rows of teeth. I know you do have a story about little people, the Fae. Gemma's got me calling them that. Nah, I don't think you're a changeling. I'd have picked up. Let me be honest with you, and I would have picked up on that. But I do think you're special, and if you have, and like you've said, you've had contact with Fae. Maybe it made you special. Maybe they made you special. Maybe there was something special about you in the first place. But I think the owl. I will go back to the owl. I think the owl is a good thing. I think it's a protector or a guardian. I think it comes around when there's something getting ready either to happen or while things are happening. So just you said you were dreaming. Maybe that's why it came. Changeling. Actually, I was a dragon egg that got forgotten about, and I hatched underneath this house here. I had a feeling I was going to ask you that one time, but I bet you do. I bet you do. I feel protected, especially after the what happened when I was 12. I'm going to tell you that event. really changed my life in so many ways. Um, it made me a lot stronger in faith, but it kind of bummed me out because I really wanted to be a preacher. And even when I still strive to do that, something was pulling me away from it. And I kept going back to what happened that night in that day or that night in the cemetery. Um, but it made my faith, and it made me gather more knowledge about biblical things and all things religious, including the cult stuff. I mean, I delved deep when I was a kid. When I was really able to go to the library and look up stuff, you'd be surprised as I was researching angels, the whole work and caboodles. But that's good that you feel that way. Because I do. There are times I feel like there are definitely times I know I'm protected. Um, I think I was protected the last two times I faced off with these things that I see that are seeing me back. Because the thing in the carryout, when it grabbed me, I felt it. I mean, I felt it, and it happened during broad daylight, and it's like, this isn't cool. This isn't cool. So, but I felt that even at that moment, I felt protected. It was just trying to scare me off, is what I honestly felt like. I think it was still was more afraid of me of it because when it came out and I was still sitting in the car and it saw me still sitting in the car, it left him. By the time he left the guy corner running around the corner, it was gone. It may have still been with that guy, but it was making sure I didn't see it. Well, I don't think they all do though. See, I honestly, it's like the ones I saw today. I'm pretty sure they didn't see me. They didn't know I was watching them. You can't be afraid. That's the key. You can't be afraid. He just caught me off guard because I didn't think that happened in public like that. Now, in the UDF, when all those other things, following those four people that were in that place that day, I'm glad I didn't directly interact with them because I don't think it'd have been good. I wasn't scared, but the the two black guys that had the things with them, the things following those guys were definitely very bad, very bad. How do you tell somebody, hey man, you need to shake these attachments? You'd be a lot better people. But they were pretty respectful to me. It was really weird. It was just, but yeah, you don't feed them. Fear feeds them. Uncertainty feeds them. Lack of knowledge feeds them. Ignorance feeds them. Anything negative, low vibration feeds them. My daughter never acknowledged them before. I told her to tell them to get out. You are not welcome. And that's what you do. That's what you do. And I've done that at people's houses. I've gone over and seen something. Now, see, I'm not saying I don't always see them. The majority, everything, the bulk of my life has been watching other people being followed by something. But there are occasions where I see stuff that are in places that shouldn't be. I've seen my shares of haunted houses, things walking this earth. I think Gemma realized when we were driving, when I was there with her, and we were driving to her sister's for the Halloween party to the book signing. I see something there. See something there. I was just outright pointing because I felt comfortable with her. So I was just telling her, there's something standing there. We driving through the woods. It looked like what came off as an old Indian standing there because, you're in that area. I think once they know you can see them. Actually, I've never had any of them show up around me. Never. I think at Halloween, this is what I don't like. I love Halloween. I will, but I dread, like I said, the night of the 29th, the night of the 30th, and the night of the 31st, and the night of the 1st. I don't like those nights too much anymore. The last 3 years, I've had some pretty really weird dreams, and woken up with bruises. And I think that's their chance to get their revenge. I think that's when they're the strongest. I'm hoping this year I'm able to protect myself because it's hard for me to protect myself because I'm meant to see this stuff. I don't know why. I still really haven't gotten a solid answer on that, why I have to see this stuff, but I do. Nothing's ever followed me home. Never. I've been lucky. Though, if anything was to follow me home, I think my biggest fear would be the black eyed kid I see in the hospital. If he ever followed me home, I'd probably freak out a little bit. That would probably kind of get up under my skin. But no, I've never had anything follow me. I haven't given it a chance to. I will see. That's why I think whatever happened that night when I was 12 in the cemetery prevents that from happening. Because I don't fear. It takes a lot to put fear in me. And like I said, if I show fear, it's probably in my own protection. That's the way you look at it too. You kick their butts. That's what you do. You kick their butts. Oh, yeah, that's important to win that fight because it will keep coming back until you do. But no, nothing's ever followed me home. Um, Not that I ever remembered. Now, not to say that I haven't seen stuff. If I see stuff, it's never in my house. I do protect the house because I can't really protect myself for some reason. I've tried everything. I wouldn't want you. No, you don't want it. And I've been blessed by that because I really think that was one of the blessings that was given to me that night was even in some of the only two things that's happened in my life that really made me scared of them doing something to me was the demon and was the Hat Man. The Hat Man was first, but I was young. I wasn't totally understanding what I was seeing until much later, and I'll never forget that because that thing literally put the fear of God in. Um, and then the demon that just doubled that. That demon was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish anybody to see it. But to think about a drawing of it, maybe some people would get an idea of what I was seeing because it was just not good. Just not good. And I'm so glad that we were able to get rid of it for this kid because I think if that kid, if I would just backed away and I don't want no part of this, I don't think that kid would be alive today. I really don't. It was messing with him big time. This, you are freakishly strong. And, you know, like Gemma, sometimes I pick up on people in chat. I really pick up on people when I'm around them um, a lot. And sometimes I'll touch a person, I'll get the whole life story. Sometimes I'll touch a person, get nothing. And then 2 weeks later, touch them again, boom. It's weird. That is weird. But you are strong. And there are a few people in this chat, in her chats, that I can tell you they're a lot stronger than they think they are. There's one in particular I worry about because I think she doesn't know how to deal with it and it may drive her mad. And I worry about that. But I don't want to say who it is because I don't know him well enough other than what I know in chat. But I worry about her sometimes because I've actually seen instances where people see things like me and Gemma and some of you people, and it's literally driven them mad a little bit on the Walker side, and that scares me because you want to help them, but it overwhelms them so much, and I just but yeah, a lot of you people amaze me, and you are a lot stronger than you think. That's like Blue Crossroad, and a lot of that's because what he's done for a life, as a life, it's made him a way strong man, a lot stronger than he gives himself. I mean, I know he gives himself credit, but there's a lot more to that man than he realizes. Why I never told anyone. People think you're crazy. Yeah. That's why I didn't talk to her. I didn't come out about my 4 times. At the time when I came out at Sean's, I had passed 4 times. Now it's 5 after the medication is the test medication. Anyways, Sean was the first person I came out to about talking about what I saw, those experiences. Um, Sean, I like Sean. I hope he's okay. I heard he's been in bad shape. But if he's out there listening, Sean, I hope you're well. But he's the first guy I started talking to because there was a couple of ladies in that chat that encouraged me. And it was easier to do it on the phone. But look what Gemma created a monster now. I'm just kidding. Are you normal, Anne? In a good way? Are you normal, Anne? In a good way? Yeah, she's normal. She's just as crazy as the rest of us. What some people call sanity is really insanity. Yeah, she's a very good lady. There's a lot of good people here. You're a good person too, Peppa. I'm glad you hung out with us tonight. I've got still 6 people watching. So somebody's enjoying this. So 6 people watching, thank you. I do appreciate it. If you just hit the like, I'd appreciate it. If you don't, that's fine too. It'd be nice if you would. I look at it this way. It's all a test. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, I could be hateful. Why me be? But I'm not. I'll tell you what. I try to stay as calm as I possibly can for as long as I can. Now, it doesn't hurt to let it loose once in a while, and it doesn't hurt to fight it. But sometimes you got to speak your piece and stand your ground. That's all there is to it. And sometimes you let things get to you till it explodes, or you get a little woozy and then it has to come out. I say woozy. That stuff can make you sick too. Holding that grudge in can make you work hard. I don't usually come here after hours, but it was for a reason. There you go. Everything has a reason. Now I do believe this is gonna sound funny. I do believe in luck. And the only reason I put it that way is because sometimes you don't realize you're in the right place at the right time. It was done for a reason, but in that time and moment, it feels like luck. But yeah, there's always a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I honestly believe that. Even when it feels like luck. It's even the mistakes. How do you not learn? But the best way to learn is from your mistakes. You keep trying until you get it right. That's kind of like the way I see coming back around all the time in life. Now, if it's just something I didn't do right this time, I'm sure I'll come back again if the good Lord allows it until I get it right. But the way things are going right now, I see a lot of prophecies being fulfilled and getting ready to be fulfilled. So I keep telling people you better hold on to your butts because we may not know the hour or the time, but it's getting close and it's being set up. I never thought I'd see some of the prophecies that are being fulfilled right now. I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And now I'm seeing them. I'm like, holy crap. My dad said the same thing the other day. He looked at me and said, son, I think I'm seeing some prophecies being fulfilled that I thought I'd never see. I said, well, there's a reason. And I've heard the same thing come out of a 98-year-old man and a 97-year-old man. They opened me. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm meant to see something that I haven't seen yet. Yeah, what time is it? Probably what? Oh, it's 2:25. You mean I haven't been paying attention to time? I didn't even do the second video. But we had a good conversation. That's what I liked. I think everybody missed Friday nights. Well, we're going to do this on Wednesday nights. And if you guys have subjects next Wednesday from 10 to 2, 10 to midnight, please either let me know, send me an email. My email's in my profile. Just go to whatever it is. Her name is Lee also. She passed away 4 months after my mom passed away. 4 days after the other great. So that pattern is pretty wild. You know, and I'm still looking into it, Cindy, because you know, my son is 30 years old. I am 60 years old. My dad is 90 years old. Think about that. 30-year jump. That's a good 20. Always start this way, Cindy Norris. This is going to sound crazy, but I had a dream. And I tell them, because if I don't, I will continue to have it. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Sometimes if you tell somebody, especially if it's about somebody, if you don't, it seems to recur over and over again until you actually say something to somebody. Hey, I had a dream. I've had that happen. That's definitely happened before, where I've stopped having a dream in between my other dreams. I dream about people too, but bulk of my dreams are usually about war or flashes. When I dream regular dreams, they're weird. They're always kind of weird and off the wall. And it's usually about somebody. Uh, I do because I don't. So continue. She's coming to you because you opened. Yep. It's amazing because when people say I'm open or realize they're open, you don't realize there's a light that you put off. Things see that light. Good and bad things see that light. And the brighter the light, it's harder for them to come. That light's just starting to flicker and it's really starting to show. You're kind of you're advertising. But once that light starts really getting bright, it's a little harder for things to come at you because your knowledge is growing. I feel that that's another one of those beliefs I have. The brighter you shine, the harder it is to touch you in the evil kind of way. You just got to stay true for it and stand steady in it. If you get what I'm saying, I'm starting to get tired. Actually, I'm starting to get antsy. I didn't think I'd last this long tonight. I've been go go go. But the nap might have helped a little bit. There we go. It's amazing how fast the YouTube chat and the stream chat are different. It happens more and more people because they are talking about, yeah, they know I won't tease them. Yeah. See, now people come to me now and talk. Excuse me again. I know we all have to come to pass the message on, but the way they to look at me after I tell them makes me feel like well, you're meant to pass it on. You're supposed to pass the message on. They may not want to hear it. They may not want to believe it. They may think you're a little kooky, but pass the message on. There's always a reason for it. Don't be ashamed of it, no matter what goes on. If there's a message to be passed, then pass it. And if you feel uncomfortable passing it, find a way to pass it. Oh, thank you, Pep. Actually, we talked about this before. The veil, I think it is thinning, and it's not cracking. It's lifting now. It's starting to open up, and some of the stuff is starting to flow out underneath it. I had a vision of that the other night, a few nights ago, actually, where I could actually see things on this. It was like to be honest, it looked like a white rainbow, and I could see things on either side. And as the rainbow faded upward, things started spilling out from underneath it. That's what I kind of look at as that. Like a door has been slowly being opened, but it's like a garage door slowly being lifted and stuff starting to spill out. But it's real slow, but it's going to happen. People are starting to see it more and more now. I've noticed a lot more people talking about everything now, from UFOs to. So no wonder why the paranormal community and everything just went. Back in the day, back in the 80s, 90s, this was just kind of side stuff. You barely, you might have a show once in a while on mysteries or unusual things, but now it's everywhere. I want to move to the hills. Um, I'd just like to stay. I would love to go back to the Rockies and get lost. Um, but I love Ohio, but we have our hills and valleys hills, as one might say. And there's plenty of places right here in Ohio you get lost too. But yes, I would like to either go to the Appalachian Mountains and just go hide, or up in the Rockies. Or like I said, I had one when I was younger. I dreamed of going to the Northern Territories up into the Alaskan Circle, the Arctic Circle. I always wanted to do that. That's not going to happen. And then like I said, I actually talked about moving to Alaska. I thought about moving to Colorado, but if I was going to do that, I might as well move to Alaska. Uh, and then if I joined the muck, or the monastery I was going to join is in another country. Actually, it's in Asia. It's in Japan, and I would have gone and lived there, and it's in a beautiful place, and I would be perfectly content. I want to move to the hills. I tell my brother that she's still here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they don't leave, but sometimes it's good that they leave. Do you feel her? Do you feel her there, Cindy? But he doesn't want to, or he doesn't want to admit it. Yeah, that's usually the case. He probably feels her too. Probably knows and just doesn't want to admit it or doesn't understand it. Some people our age don't understand that stuff, so they don't want to admit it. They're unsure. You know, my dad. It's like I said, my dad's funny. He believes in UFOs and stuff, but and he ran the mountains of Mount Air and all them along the Chillicothe area. Then those are some good mountain range. It's not they're like no Appalachian mountains or Rockies, but they're mountains. And Dad said he ran those things all his life and never saw a thing. I said, "Well, Dad, you never back then you really didn't talk about those things, so you didn't know to look for it, but I'm sure it saw you." But he doesn't believe in that stuff, but he'll believe in UFOs. But he's starting to turn around now that he's been around and starting to understand that his son is not what he knew him to be. Next time she comes to you in your dream, Cindy, tell her to make a big noise so he knows. There you go. It started to rain. Are you getting rain now? We had rain yesterday. You guys are probably getting what we got yesterday, or this morning, last night and this morning, early this morning, yesterday. Now that it's Saturday, um, we didn't get much, but we got a good rain during the night. Now it's real cool here. It we got up to like 77 today, real nice, beautiful day. Um, but as soon as that's about 5 or 6 o'clock, when that sun started to hit the sunset, we're at 48 now. They're talking freeze warnings tomorrow. We'll see if it happens. But we're supposed to get real chilly all weekend. I'm ready for it. It'll help the leaves to really start changing. I told him how she died and what she was doing when she died. And she died. I think she's staring to believe. I'm telling him, but sometimes he's still, yeah, just let him roll his eyes. It's okay. Don't be afraid to tell him. If he's telling you not to tell you, if he's telling you to shut up, that's different. But if he's just letting you talk, he may roll his eyes, but it's getting up there. Oh, I'm sure you guys got slammed now. I know. You guys got hit a couple times hard, just like the Midwest. I mean, when there like it seemed like a month for you guys up there, and were you getting like solid rain? It's like every time you guys were turning around, it was pouring. He came home and found her. Okay. Um, there was a young girl. The house that it happened, it'd be okay. They would be they would be the third house from me. coming down the street. So you would pass this house before you get to my house. The house is gone. They ripped it out. And I know why. I mean, they literally gutted this house. They took it completely out of the ground, destroyed it, vanquished it to no man's land. A friend of mine, a young lady that lived there that I grew up with, um, she lived there with her mom, her sister, and her grandma. Well, her grandma was a little touched. And the young lady came, I'll never forget this day. We come home from school, we get off the bus, we're all walking down our street. She goes inside. I go on home. I go, the couple down, go home. Um, Next thing I know, she's pounding on our door and she has to talk to my mom. My mom steps out and talks to her and she's crying. Turned out her grandmother had done herself in the basement. And that house was never right after that. Poor girl. She went through a lot, but she stayed strong. But that house was never right after that. And when her sister finally left the place, the person that went in to bought the house said the house literally looked like it was decaying. And I'm like, yeah, I always, every time I went past that house, I'd get bad vibes, real not good vibes. I don't know why I told that story, but that sucks though. My blessings are with you. But yeah, it's basically sounds like. But yeah, the people that bought the house, they gutted it. I mean, the guy that bought the house goes, well, I went in that house and it was like there was something very wrong with the house. It needed work, but he said it was. He said when he walked in the house literally felt like it was decaying, even though it didn't look like it. It felt like it, and he couldn't take it. I mean, they took it all the way down. They tore the basement out and everything. They removed everything and put a whole new house there. And I think he had the land blessed too. But it looks, you see, the house that's there now doesn't look like it belongs in the neighborhood because these are all like World War II homes. And this guy put this big old fancy house in the middle of our neighborhood. They didn't believe me either, Sydney. Yeah, just talk to them. I mean, after a while, they think I'm a witch. It's been almost 3 years, January 6th, and he still has her ashes. That's probably why. He he may not inside be letting go. That's why I won't let go of the ashes. I I never. Somebody asked me. They had a friend who passed, and she was a very close friend of mine, and he was going to get cremated, and he wanted to be cremated, and she didn't cremate him because I had said if you cremate him, do not keep the ashes. Go get a place you can go in the cemetery and put the ashes. Don't keep the ashes in his house. Um, that's you got to let him go, and she decided just to go ahead and bury him. And he had a great funeral. He was a good friend, um, but I'm glad she didn't. I tell people if you don't feel comfortable keeping the ashes, don't. Put them in a proper place where they belong. It's also your kind of saying, "Hey, I'm letting go. It's time for me to let go. Time to move on." You see, yeah, see, and that's why I just said that, told that story, yeah, because I don't. I think sometimes when people keep ashes, they keep that person there, but it's also how you look at things. And yeah, maybe she's not ready to leave. He was supposed to have her buried with her mom, but he isn't ready yet. Well, once he lets go, I think you'll see a change, and she may move on. But yeah, as long as she's there telling you to give a message or you're seeing her, let it be known that you're seeing her. Dreams or whatever. That ain't no doubt. I agree with that. That decaying feeling is wild. Yeah, it is a wild feeling. I, like I said, I didn't go to the house, so I didn't get the feeling. But until they tore the house down, once they tore the house down, it was just a hole in the ground. There was when I went by. I even went on the property and looked down and checked out. It was weird to see a house completely removed and in your middle of your neighborhood. And once I walked on the property, I didn't feel that creepiness. But after her grandmother did what she did, that house, it never felt right. It always was off feeling. I even tried to talk to the young lady to having somebody come bless the house. Apparently they never did. Her sister lived there for years after, and her sister was always a little. I gotta be careful because I don't know if she listens because she knows I stream. My sister was never really right a year after that, especially as long as she stayed in the house. The one neighbor on the other side of them would say she never came out. She basically only went to the store and came home. She was pretty much a shut in. But everybody was surprised she sold the house and moved on. Yeah, she said that she won't leave until she knows he's okay, which is logical. A lot of that's like I said, my mom still comes checks on my dad. My mom and dad didn't have a very good finish to her passing. It wasn't what happened at the passing as what happened afterwards. So there was some anger. Um, but she still comes and checks on him. I think there for a while when he was having some really heavy nightmares. I think that was him and her arguing out. I really do. His dreams are not as bad. Every so often he gets a little voiceful in his dreams, which he never did before. I just go in there and calm him down, and I don't wake him. I just calm him down. Yeah, traumatizing and grieving. Yeah, I do too. My heart does go up to both of you too. See, that was the first thing I encouraged my dad to do was to remove as much as mom's stuff as possible. We still have a box of her knickknacks and stuff that he won't give up. But he finally admitted the other day that he may want the granddaughters and the daughter-in-laws because he didn't have any daughters. He had four boys. Come and go through it and see what they want. And I told Dad, I said before they do that, let me get the boxes, those particular things blessed again. Um, Not that I don't think my mom would follow something out of the house, but you never know. And I wouldn't want that to happen. But my mom was a good mom. She definitely loved her old movies and her old music. Boy, I needed this tonight. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I didn't realize it was so late. I was gonna play the other video, and we were just having a good conversation. Yeah, 2:44. Yeah, I think we'll call it an evening. Yeah, it's all right to keep the meaningful things. It's all right to keep tokens of someone you adore and love. That's important. That is very important, actually. But you don't want to keep everything. Oh, you're welcome, Peppa. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. And the people that just listened in, thank you for listening and hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of needed it too. Unfortunately, I didn't want to get out of whack, and I think I did. Um, but I needed to get stuff done. I had to reset myself mentally by getting stuff done. But I do. I feel so much better. And now that I got certain, they want to do one more thing with my voice. But I got to wait a while. And once they do that, my esophagus and open, I'm done with that. And they want to look at one ear. And then as for everything else, all they can do is make me comfortable. And I'm good with that. I've cut back because of some things. I've cut back I'm down way low on my medicine, which is good. I didn't want to be taking a bunch of pills that weren't doing nothing. You the man, guess. I don't know about that, but thanks. I tell you what, I do. I feel better. I since I noticed some progress. There are some things I'm never going to be able to fix, and I just have to live with. I have already for those two. It's you stay as steady as you can, and stay as strong as you can, and you keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's the only way you're going to get through the doors. I'm wide awake too. I am wide awake. Yeah, I'm awake. Like I said, I'll get off here. I'm going to piddle around the house. Maybe find something to nibble on. I'm glad everybody feels better. That's great. I appreciate this too. You guys made me feel good tonight too. And even the folks that just listened in, that makes me feel good. I'm glad you guys came out. At least we got to watch a video too. I just got to remember to do that one first next week. But we did. We had a good conversation. I wasn't going to stop it. It's basically what this is all about. Breathe in, breathe out. Not to make you mad, and I've never been a real big Jimmy Buffett. I love all music. I love some of his songs. I was a headbanger for so long and a punker for so long. Still have that in me. I'm kind of hoping. I'm gonna be honest. If her stream goes good tomorrow night, I may do a midnight after. We'll see how I feel when we're done. Because actually, she wears me out watching her. Because she does those 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. I know it's hard on her, but she loves it so much. And those are her nights, man. She shines those nights. But yeah, she drains me watching her and then trying to keep up with you people in the chat. It's hard to get over those things. And if you see it with a fin on top, that's fun. Yeah, I probably didn't know what was going on. It's always nice when he pops in and talks about food. Been a pair head since 19. Hey, it's all right. It's okay to be a pair head. I have no problem with that. Like I said, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. That's what it's all about. Yeah, it's like I grew up with a bunch of kids that were discovering Grateful Dead and all that. And it was like, you know, I burn out on stuff. There's only a few bands that I really truly been faithful to, and that's like Pink Floyd, Police, Rush. I like some of the new stuff. There's some of the '90s stuff, but I also like classical music, Beethoven, Mozart. Uh, Gemma, when Gemma is on a roll, she's on a roll. I mean, spend the day with her in real time, a mile a minute, and I love it. She cracks up, and I do. I enjoy her rambling. Actually, her rambling is very soothing for me. She's actually some of the nights she's some of the reasons why I do sleep for some reason. In this tailgating videos of the parrot heads, I had a hoodie. Oh, really? There you go. I had these couple of guys that I went to school with. The Grateful Dead been around for years, and it was always neat to see kids rediscover. And the Dead were just starting a tour again before Garcia passed, and they were running around catching all their shows during the summer. And I was like, "Hey, buds, we're not in the '70s anymore, but enjoy it." Yeah, I know. It's a nice crystal too, isn't it? You're talking about the one she showed in the short. Yeah, that's a nice one. Be Kind sent her that one. That is one nice piece of crystal. Yeah, it is. Now, see, I like this. The one you got me is real nice. I wear it quite a bit. You're a dragon head, and I wear my. They're both on. I got them both on now, I wear them to bed. I wear them. I made sure with the way it's been lately going out in public, I've been wearing this. I've been wearing them solid. I even went and had them. I get them re-blessed. I actually go get them blessed. Not only do I recharge them, I get them blessed. I have Thomas blesses them for me every 3 months. I have three little ones. One the size of your thumb is like three. Really, yeah. Somebody said it's really expensive. There's a crystal mine north of me. I didn't know it was there. At the Indian caverns we have up here, we have the old Tangian caverns up north of me. I mean, not that far away. And they had it closed down for a while, and we revented. Where apparently they found crystals, doing some work on the caverns and around the area. So now you can go dig up your own crystals. So I think I'm going to go do that. I like to actually bring Gemma here and take her to go dig up her own crystals. She'd probably get the biggest kick out of that. I can't type either, so don't feel bad. I got it for a pendant, but didn't know how it came with a chain, but didn't know it came. You can always change those chains over. You can get them changed over. A lot of jewelers can do that, change that over for you, and not be expensive about it. You can do that. Call around in your area and see who will do it for you. They will do it for you. You'd be surprised. There's people that will do that for you. I'm sure you have somebody close too that will probably do that. You just check your jewelers, and if they don't do it, they find somebody. They'll tell you who can. You'd be surprised. It's nice and heavy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could probably get a pendant. You could probably change that necklace to a pendant. Easy. It's not hard to do. Probably do it real nice for you too. Well, I'm sure there's another one around there to do it. You just don't send it anywhere. I wouldn't send it anywhere. Take it. Take it to somebody that's close. If you're one guy's retired, maybe he'll do it. Maybe if you can find him, say, hey, you want to do this for me? I know you're retired. He might do it. Some guys still work, do that stuff on site. It's like my dad. He quit being a mechanic. When he retired, he's the neighborhood mechanic now. He doesn't work on cars anymore, but everybody brings his lawnmowers and their power tools to him, and he fixes them. Makes a little extra cash on the side. Sometimes he charges. Sometimes, most of the time, he just charges for the parts. Yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. This is my time. My woo starts happening. Actually, one of the reasons I like night, it's my days that are usually crazy. Now that I'm older, my nights are my nights. I'm able to really cut. I can't say cut because I don't go nowhere, so I don't have to worry about seeing anything. But everything happens. That's crazy here during the day. For a guy that's just me and an old man, my son works during the day. So it's just me, Pops. There's days I feel like I just not stop. But once they both come home, once he comes home and everybody settles in their rooms, once Pop settles in his room and Giles settles in mine, we all go to our rooms. That's my time. That's when I actually get to breathe. And then, like now, I'll piddle around all night because I know they're not going to be bugging me. And I'll go out there and clean or do what I can do while they're not in the way. Only 11:55 here on the West Coast. Yeah, I figure. Now, see, I think the latest I've ever had an experience was probably about 3:35, and that's only because I was at a friend's house, and he had stuff happening every night at 3:35. He said every night at 3:35, so I went over and spent the night. He was right. I spent a week with him, and at 3:35 every night, something weird would happen, and we smudged his house, and it was just weird noises. Sometimes you would hear whispering. He would get this whispering. I know one night it sounded like two children talking, is what it sounded like to me the one night. One night I was there. But it always started like at 3:35. You could almost set your clock to it. The other nights it was like really like people walking around, um, or moving around in his kitchen. We smudged a house. I opened up all the windows and doors, and we smudged a house. I said a prayer in the house. I'm not a priest or minister, but I went ahead and walked through and said a prayer in the house. He has never had a problem since that I know of. But that was many years ago. East Coast, yeah, we're East. Oh, I'm Ohio. And you're Maryland, right? And if I get this right, Maryland, right? Because Vixen's up there too somewhere, right? Or is Vixen, Maryland, and you New Hampshire? I know you guys are up there. Up. You're supposed to get some really rough winters this year, and so be prepared. Guys are going to get a lot of northeasterns coming in, so keep your eyes peeled this winter because you may get some snowfalls that you're not waiting for. You're not ready for. The thing is, when I saw a UFO, I looked at the clock. I had a cigarette, and when I jumped back in the bed, it was 3:30. Ooh, I see. The only time slip I ever had, and that's what that was. You had a time jump. Was when I was in Colorado as a kid when I went out with the youth group. And I still to this day don't know if I was abducted. All I remember was walking toward the mountain. 5 hours later, as I came back, and it only felt like I was gone an hour. They said I was gone for 5 solid hours, a little more. And they didn't even remember me being there, which really upset me because what if I never came back and they went home and my mom and dad was waiting at the airport for me? That would not have been good. Yeah, Cindy's in Pennsylvania. Yeah, El Nino winter. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting winter. I love winter. I love the snow. I love the cold. My body don't anymore, but I do. I will always love it. And I love spring and summer, but there's something to me about a white Christmas, white snow, sledding. That's when I shine. Actually, like I said, winter comes. I seem more active during the winter than I do during the summer. But then again, I'm always active, so it don't really matter. They say they see them all the time down there. Yeah. I was down that shady side near yeah, the arthritis. You get old, you get it. Um, and the spine thing. Oh, my neck. When they replace those bones back there, I know when it's going to rain. You would think it'd be hips because I have 2 hip replacements. But it's not my hips; it's my neck. And when rain's moving in, or I know there's snow coming, and my neck just starts going spazoid. You're in San Diego. You get summer and fall only. Yeah, snow in the mountains. Yep. Oh yeah. The naval bases are down there. Yes. We used to go. My brother was based. He was on the USS Kennedy, so he spent a lot of time there at I can't think of it. Down by Virginia Beach, the naval base down there, over there. Now I can't even think the name. That's pretty sad. I should know it. Yeah, we went to Virginia Beach. It was all right. It wasn't bad. You see the shipyard? Oh yeah. No, that was kind of when I went to see Gemma, and we went to our doctors, and we left the doctors. We went to a mall, Well, I must have pushed the wrong uh, road thing on my phone, and took us around the long way, and we got stuck in New York traffic. Gosh, we spent 3 hours in traffic. Never again. But anyways, see, when I went to New York to see Pink Floyd, we flew in, we went to the hotel room. From the hotel, we walked to Madison Square Gardens. Then after Council, we went back to the hotel, crashed, got up, and flew back home. So I really didn't get to do any sightseeing. So it's sitting on that free and seeing New York and all that. It was like, wow. Yeah, ships are huge. In fact, when we were sitting in traffic, Gemma and me, we're pretty sure we saw a couple of UFOs following planes in to the airport. It was weird. You'd see them follow the airplane and then they'd shoot straight up and just disappear. And we saw like, I think 2 or 3 of them. I was like, Gemma, look what's following that plane. She's like, holy crap. I said, at least sitting in traffic, we got some entertainment out of it. But we were both so pissed by the time we got home. It was like, gosh, I'm sorry, Gemma. But let's call it a night. I think we're going to call it a night. Yeah, it's 3:02. 3:02. It's a 3:02 out. Time to hit the hay. Now, time for me to get up and start moving again before I get too antsy again. Because I am starting to get antsy. But it's good antsy. I'm ready. This was a good night. What a very nice night. So, everybody that was watching, thank you so much. It was a wonderful night. It was nice to come back this way. And all that listened and watched, thank you. I appreciate it. Just make sure you leave a like, comment. Tomorrow, Gemma at 7:15 Eastern Time. Her premiere is Monday at 11. Then I will be here back here Wednesday night at 10 to midnight. And then next week she'll be doing her oracles on Friday night. I don't know if Pixie is still streaming or not. Laura, nothing's been said to me. I waited for a while last night, to see if she was going on. I don't know, so I just let them tell me. So I don't know. So Miss Pixie, if you were around listening, please let somebody know. I don't mind hanging out with you, even if it's in the background. It depends on how I feel that day. A lot of it's because I stream so much. I don't mind sitting in the background and just watching the stream for her. Yes, it was a very good conversation, and I enjoyed the video because she talked. It's funny because she had a couple sleep paralysis stories in that video, and then she ended up writing the book about the sleep paralysis. So I thought it was pretty good. Wonderful, wonderful night, folks. Please have a wonderful Saturday, and maybe, just maybe, if I'm up to it, after stream tomorrow night with Oracles and Gemma, maybe I'll do a short midnight stream, a little hour after Gemma time, and hang out. We'll see how things go. I've been playing that, but I've been thinking about that. If I'm up to it, I will. But if we don't tomorrow night at midnight, let's all enjoy our time with Gemma tomorrow for Oracles. And then I will see you guys probably during the chat of her premiere on Monday, because I always try to be there for it. I try. And then I'll see you guys Wednesday night. But definitely tomorrow night, folks. So have a wonderful one. Be safe. Be wonderful. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Please have a wonderful night. Take care of each other for the next 24 hours. Good night. Yes, see you, Cindy Lee. You have a good night. Take care, folks.